block.
This is the Kansas Kickoff Show. Powered by KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas. The only statewide high school pregame show in Kansas starts now.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from KPreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, who is presented by Mammoth Sports Construction and Watco, as well as KPreps and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel. My name is Sean Boston. It is great to have you along as we prepare you for week number 5 of the high school football season right here in the state of Kansas. Here in our first segment, we will take a look back at week number 4, what stood out to Matt Gilmore, and then Chet Copeland will give you some statistical leaders through the first 4 weeks. And then in our second segment, we will take a look at the rankings from Class 6A down through Class 8-man Division II. And in our third and final segment, we will take a look at some of the top games to watch across the state here on this Friday night. That's all ahead on this week's edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show. All right, Matt, we will start with you. First off, what stood out to you from week number 4?
Yeah, we crossed the midpoint of the regular season, and you're looking back on week 4, a couple of results that really surprised me. Olathe West shutting down Olathe North. Olathe North was ranked number 2 in the state in Class 6A, and Olathe West holds them scoreless until under a minute to go in winning that game 20-6. Ark City, we know that they had that incredible run to the 4A state championship game last fall, but they had struggled this year, and then they beat Mays and slow down Mays to win that one 24-17. Mays scoring again really late, with I think actually with about a couple seconds left. So a couple of surprising scores. Garden City with a big win at Hayes. Blue Valley, wins in overtime at Aquinas. So a lot of great games, and of course the huge showdown I'm sure that we'll talk about a little bit in the ranking segment. Hanover and Axtell, the two 8-man Division II powers, and Axtell getting that win again, the third time in the last couple of years that they've been able to knock off Hanover, 30-24 in that one. So a lot of shakeup in the rankings that we'll talk about soon, and looking forward to some more exciting matchups this week.
And Chet, I know you've been keeping track of the statistical leaders across the state all season long. And who are some of the top playmakers across the state through 4 weeks?
Guys, I always use this segment to talk about top individuals across the state and how they're performing. This week we'll stick with offense. Henry Martin just having an outstanding year from Blue Valley North. 1,442 yards passing this season. Blake Reeder, who of course played receiver last season for Shawnee Mission Northwest, 1,000 yards passing already. Dylan Dunn, over 1,000, as well as Lance Hofsummer of Sedgwick. We expected big numbers from him. Dalton Whitworth stepping in big as a first-year starter for Rock Creek. 985 yards. Harrison Voth, we expected him to have a big year. He is. Dagan Kruger of Silver Lake. Huge year. Wright Drohard out of Chaparral. This is a team that's unbeaten right now. It kind of surprised a lot of people. The sophomore Ferralis out of Heston having a big year despite missing one game. Luke Gibhart as well. Mikey Polly, Ashton Down out of Hoxie. Of course, Polly, the multiple sports star out of Blue Valley Northwest. And we always expected a big year for six-man star Logan McCarty. Of course, elsewhere out in western Kansas, Caden Johnson having a nice year as well. Hayden Oviatt out of Wamego. Really one of those top dual threats in the state. The top dual threat probably in the state, Torrey Horak out of Rossville, led them to a state title last year, continues to impress. Rushing leaders across the state, of course, in the 6-man ranks. 4 games, Caden Martinez, of Natoma, 1,275 yards. Holden Parker of Crest, also a big year, but how about the 11-man ranks of Mace South, Evan Cantu, a huge year, 915 yards in 4 games. Mitch Budke in Chase County having a big year. Keandre Smith in Caldwell, Ken Miller in Concordia, Reed Adelhart out of Garden Plain, Eli Rigel out of Chapman, Sean Carroll out of Aquinas, Legend Robinson out of Hoisington, Omarion Ellis out of Capon, a huge year. Out of Elias out of Capon having a huge year. LJ Phillips, of course, in the rushing attack of Wichita Northwest. About 3 different guys producing some big numbers there. Dylan Edwards, 600 yards in just 3 games. Likely the top overall player in the state of Kansas this year is Edwards of Derby in just a junior. Receiving yardage-wise, Tyson Struber, the 8-man star, 576 yards after 4 weeks. state 200-meter champion, rather. And, of course, a Kansas State commit, big-time player. Ryan Stuckey out of Sedgwick, a big year. Zach Atkins out of Blue Valley Southwest. Jay Schoen out of Lakeside. And Jet Benson out of Wheatland Grinnell. And Matthew Holthusen out of Bishop Carroll, whose brother, of course, a standout runner for Wichita State. His dad wants a top 11 pick out at Mar Hill back in the day when they won the state title. And Damian Hatton, a 6'4", 185-pounder out of Sedan, having a big year, as well as Jarrett Norris of Troy and Chase Pogue out of southeast of Saline. A lot of big numbers going on across the state of Kansas this week in all classifications.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll step aside for our first timeout. When we return, we will take a look at the rankings from Class 6A down through Class 8-man Division II. You're tuned in to the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Here at American Implement, we're proud to be part of the communities we serve. And that's the reason we support local youth through scholastic activities like FFA, 4-H band, and sports. We firmly believe that the right activity can bring out the best qualities every child has to offer. And we wholeheartedly want to support and be involved with that. It's part of our responsibility as a good neighbor, and we're proud to call your community our home also.
Fall is in the air, and so is a crisp new deal at Nextech Wireless. Loyal customers and newbies alike, trade in your tired old device, get a new phone on us. Stuck somewhere else? No worries. We'll pay off your contract so you're free to switch and free to choose your new free phone. So visit the right people with the right deals and get the best phone on the best network. It's time for something different. Nextech Wireless. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Seatbelts Are For Everyone is a proud partner of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Seatbelts are for everyone.
When we do our safe observations at our school, almost everybody is on their phone.
A lot of students at the school and even adults always need to reply to that text or email or phone call or whatever while they're driving.
Having everybody focus on the road would be probably one of the biggest challenges we have.
I'd like to see a lot more people pay attention to what's going on. I always do my best to pay attention. I'm not on my phone. I don't think any text message is as important as your life.
I think a lot of people are on their phone while they're driving to kind of keep up a social image, when really, in the long run, it doesn't matter more than your life or the life of somebody else.
The Think Before You Post Power of Social Media Tour has been in over 160 schools in Kansas. The message is great to talk about social media etiquette, viral posting, digital citizenship, online reputation, online criminal activity, texting and driving, and positives and negatives of social media. Book today at sportsinkansas@gmail.com. In over 160 schools in Kansas. The Think Before You Post Power of Social Media Tour is powered by Mammoth Sports Construction, Nextech Wireless, Seatbelts Are For Everyone in Watco.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety Campaign.
What does a school bell bring to mind? The day's end? Or the end of school entirely? As in, kids dropping out. At Communities in Schools, we're helping at-risk students whose ability to show up for school is jeopardized by hardships.
They've always had my back. They've always done anything to help me.
Anytime I needed support, they were there.
We work in schools to help kids stay in school.
Communities in Schools never gave up on me. They told me I can do it, and I did it.
See how we help all students succeed at communitiesinschools.org.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
And welcome back to week number 5 of the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, the Save Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from kpreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, and Kpreps and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel. My name is Sean Boston, and it's great to have you along here on this first day of October. We took a look back at week number 4, as well as some of the stat leaders back in our first segment. Here in the second segment, we'll take a look at the rankings from Class 6A all the way down through Class 8-man Division 2. All right, Matt, let's start in Class 6A. Manhattan at number 5, Blue Valley at number 4, Blue Valley North 3, Blue Valley Northwest number 2, and the Panthers of Derby remain at number 1 in Class 6A.
Yeah, Derby just dominant on the road. Asalana South led that one, I think, 70-0 at halftime, and cruising to a 77-7 win over the Cougars. They'll get a test at Hutch this week. It should be an interesting game. Blue Valley Northwest, you mentioned, up a couple spots to number 2 this week, resulting in that Olathe North loss. They beat St. James Academy 47-10. They'll play Blue Valley Southwest this week. Blue Valley North stays in the number 3 spot, but they lose their first game of the season, 28-27 in overtime. That to Missouri school, Lee Summit North, who is unbeaten on the season at 5-0. Outstanding game there, and the Mustangs decided to go for 2 and to try to win that one in the overtime, and the pass was just incomplete. Blue Valley, we mentioned, a huge win at Aquinas, 36-35 in overtime. They went for 2 and got the victory at Aquinas in the overtime there, and the Tigers got a big showdown against Blue Valley North this week, 3 versus 4. It should be an outstanding game. And then you mentioned Manhattan in the 5 spot, 4-0. They no trouble with Topeka High, 49-0, and they've outscored their opponents 119-0 in the past 2 weeks.
All right, Chet, down to Class 5A. May South into the poll for the first time this season, number 5. Capon at number 4. St. Thomas Aquinas at 3. Bishop Carroll at 2. And Mill Valley at number 1 in Class 5A.
Really some fine football teams in Class 5A, guys, of course, highlighted by Mill Valley. Of course, a team that has 4 state titles since 2015. They were able to beat Lawrence last week 21-14. Kendrick Jones really stands out to me this season. Of course, Hayden Jay has stepped in big at the quarterback role. Their defensive line very solid as well. They're against Free State this week. Free State much improved. Bishop Carroll beat Dodge City 38-23 last week. Aquinas lost in overtime to Blue Valley. So they have a couple of course, tight losses to Miege and, of course, Blue Valley. EKL kind of throw the record out there. Of course, Mill Valley, former EKL team, now in the Sunflower League. Capon has been very impressive out in, of course, the Wichita area, all over Great Bend, 42-7. They have Wichita Southeast this week. So I think the Crusaders are the real deal. Of course, earlier this season, of course, knocking off Wichita Northwest. And May South, they continue their solid play. Evan Cantu has been outstanding this year. Over 1,000 yards rushing, or closing in on 1,000 yards. Actually, I think he was at 900 on our last leaderboard. They're at Newton this week, so at home against Newton, actually. So should be interesting. Hayes, of course, dropped a game last week. Spring Hill is quietly 4-0. Kind of their best season in a long, long time. So a lot of teams to look at here outside of the rankings as well in Class 5A.
All right, Matt, back to you in Class 4A. Bueller at number 5, Baser Linwood at 4. And at number 3 is McPherson, Andover Central at 2, and the Stags of Bishop Miege at number 1 in Class 4A.
Yeah, no change in our 4A poll this week. The voting's tight. Miege obviously just 1-3 on the year, but played exceptional competition with 2 losses to 6A Powers and then to Missouri Power Rockhurst, 24-21 last week. They'll play Blue Valley West this week, and Miege is starting to get it figured out on offense. They're scoring, they're competitive in these games, and obviously elite competition, and so they're going to be fine come playoffs time. Andover Central in the 2 spot remains unbeaten. They won at Goddard 41-13. They'll take on Valley Center this week. McPherson, another tough test. They get by Winfield 21-14 in overtime, and it was a situation where they had a lot of turnovers in this one, and actually a turnover ended it for Winfield in their overtime possession. But Matt gets the win, 21-14 to move to 4-0. They'll be at El Dorado this week. Baser Linwood, no trouble with Turner, 57-6. They'll host Shawnee Heights this week, and then Bueller, they hold off that El Dorado team 28-20 in a competitive game. And Bueller's got an interesting test this week against Augusta, who's 3-1 on the year. So should be another good week in Class 4A.
Chet down to Class 3A, Frontenac number 5, Holton at number 4, Cheney at 3, Wichita Collegiate at 2, and Andale still unbeaten at number 1 in Class 3A.
Andale continues to impress, of course, all over Hallstead last week, 58-0. They're at Heston this week. Heston's a little bit better than their 1-3 record shows. Their quarterback, a very good player, a sophomore. I know he's been banged up a little bit this season. Wichita Collegiate, of course, beating Heston last week 31-21. They're at Wichita Trinity this week. Of course, Wesley Fair, their star player this year. Cheney's been a very good team with a Voth kid at quarterback, Luke Grace as well. Of course, Jackson Voth, also a solid receiver for his brother Harrison at the quarterback position. Very good team, and this is a huge matchup this week against Pratt, a team that I feel like could be ranked. I think there are a lot of teams that could be ranked. It's hard for everybody to be ranked in Class 3A. Holton beat Sabetha last week 41-17 at Royal Valley this week. Frontenac going for 700 wins in the history of that program as they celebrate 100 years of football. They'll be against Burlington. I think the Raiders will be heavily favored in that. But look for Concordia this year. Of course, the Miller kid having a big year for them. Prairie View and Girard play this week as well. I think both of those teams could be, perhaps ranked type of team. Southeast of Saline is having an outstanding year with the Pogue kid, as well as the Give Our kid at quarterback, Rodriguez at linebacker. There are a lot of good football teams in Class 3A.
All right, Matt, back to you in Class 2A. Garden Plain at number 5, Osage City at 4, Silver Lake at 3, Nemaha Central at 2, and the Bulldogs of Rossville will remain at number 1 in Class 2A.
Yeah, Rossville, no trouble with McLeod, 66-0. They'll be heavy favorites again this week against Oskaloosa, who is winless. Nemaha Central, that was a game we featured last week. Nemaha Central in Atchison County in that district. Atchison County came in unbeaten, and they really challenged Nemaha Central, but the Thunder win it 20-0, get the shutout in that one, and it was kind of methodical. They'll get a test against a good St. Mary's team this year, this week, and the Bears are just 1-3, but they've been very competitive and against good competition. Silver Lake, no trouble with Oskaloosa, 53-0 in that one. They'll get a winless Mission Valley this week. Osage City in the number 4 spot, 62-13 victory over West Franklin. They will play Jayhawk Lynn this week and should be a heavy favorite in that one. And then Garden Plain back into the number 5 spot, just votes ahead of Kingman. Those two district foes actually have flip-flopped the last couple of weeks, and the voting is very close there. Both teams 3-1, both with losses to Cheney, and they will meet here in just a couple of weeks. But first, Garden Plain's got really the game of the week in Class 2A as they travel to Chaparral, who's a surprising team at 4-0.
Shed down to Class 1A, Centralia at number 5, Sedgwick at number 4, Inman at 3, Smith Center at 2, and Olpe still at number 1 in Class 1A.
Olpe is the king of Class 1A football, trying to repeat this year. They're against Pleasanton this week and got to meet up with Coach Schmidt and, of course, Ted Skowski. That kid is a player for sure. Defensive player of the year last year from Sports in Kansas, about 6'2", 210 pounds. A very nice athlete that he is. The Redeker kid, a big-time player as well. Smith Center all over Sacred Heart last week. They're against Oakley. Of course, Oakley, I think, a little bit better than their 0-4 record shows as the state runner-up last year. Not that same team, but they're still, not a team that's overlooked necessarily. Inman, they've not allowed a point all season, so they've been outstanding. They're against Plainville this week. That'll be their biggest test so far this season. Jay Sturkson and Kendon Blank have been outstanding for this team. Coach Sawyer's done a really fine job. Sedgwick, all over Stanton County, 62-0. Lance Halfsommer, and of course, the Stookie kid, however you say it. I apologize if I said it the wrong way. He has been big since moving out to receiver for them. El Saline this week at Centralia. They beat Valley Heights 41-16. They'll be against Jeff County North. And other teams to look at. Derek Jasper and Troy have quietly done a nice job. Jarrett Norris, kind of a breakout player for them. We've talked about him in multiple sports. They're 3-1. Plainville, Waubonsee, Whitewater, Remington, Jeff County North, and Conway Springs are other teams to look at.
All right, Matt, down to you in Class 8-man Division 1. Leota, Wichita County at 5, Waukene Trigo at number 4, Little River at 3, Madison at 2, and Canton Galva at number 1 in 8-man 1.
Yeah, 8-man 1 is just loaded from top to bottom. A lot of great teams, and we're going to see a huge matchup this week as we've got Canton Galva at Little River, defending champion Little River, number 1 versus number 3. The voting is very close in the top 3, so they're basically interchangeable. But Canton Galva, a little beat up right now, as we'll talk about here in a little bit. But they won at Bennington in a test, 60-42 last week to move to 4-0. Madison's still in that 2 spot. They win 50-0 at Udall. And then there's Little River, the defending champs, 51-6 victory at Lincoln last week. And so this should be an outstanding game this week that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But a huge showdown, big-time implications in 8-man Division 1. Waukene Trigo is still at number 4, unbeaten. They handle Hoxie 60-40. Again, 2 very good teams out west in that game. And they'll take on Rawlins County this week. And then Leota, Wichita County, you mentioned, they beat Hodgman County, outscore them 54-32. They'll be at Nest City this week. It's going to be an exciting playoff run in 8-man Division 1.
That's our last class. We'll look at 8-man Division 2. Frankfort at number 5, Thunder Ridge at 4, Victoria at 3, Hanover at 2, and Axtell at number 1 in 8-man Division 2.
Axtell, the number 1 team in the state this week after knocking off Hanover 30-24. It doesn't get any easier this week, but they are at home against Frankfort, of course. Hanover was number 1. Hanover drops to number 2. They take on Osborne this week, who's outstanding as well. So we talk about some just outstanding games. Here they are this week. Victoria, of course, taking on Central Plains. Maybe not the same Central Plains that we once knew back in the day, but Victoria all over Sylvan Lucas last week after getting a loss a few weeks back to Joaquin Trigo. Thunder Ridge also beat Lakeside Downs last week, and Frankfort all over Blue Valley Randolph 59-14. So Frankfort at Axtell this week, kind of the highlighted game, along with, of course, Hanover at Osborne. So some teams to definitely look at here. Even Buckland, undefeated at 4-0, led by Scott Price, an outstanding multiple sport athlete for them. Caldwell quietly 4-0, as well as, looking at other teams like Osborne. We talked about Lebo as well. But I think Hanover, Axtell, those two teams at the top, really good teams to look at, as well as Victoria, despite a couple of them having losses, play some pretty tough schedules in 8-man Division 2.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll go ahead and step aside for a final timeout. When we return, we will take a look at some of the top games across the Sunflower State to watch here in week number 5. You're tuned in to the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from kpreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, as well as kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel, I'm your host, Sean Bosted. Here in our third and final segment of tonight's show, we will take a look at some of the games to watch across the state here in week number 5. All right, Matt, it seems like every week we talk about a big matchup in the Eastern Kansas League, and another one this week is number 3 versus number 4, Blue Valley North at Blue Valley.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. I mean, there's outstanding competition in the EKL, and there's major implications too on the east side of Class 6A. And this one is, right now there are 7 teams with a 3-1 mark on the eastern half of 6A, and so these are 2 of them, Blue Valley North and Blue Valley, and it's going to be a big time game to decide that. It's a situation where Blue Valley's won 3 straight after that season opening loss to Blue Valley Northwest, who's, by the way, the undefeated team in on the 6A East. And so since then, they've been doing it on the ground. They're averaging over 250 yards a game on the ground. Grayson Holbert, their quarterback, has been outstanding, as well as Michael Solomon. And so those guys can get it done. And you have to kind of remember that Holbert's a guy who was kind of thrown into this role at quarterback last season because of Jake Wolf. They're kind of incumbent, all-state potential type quarterback who transferred to Allen, Texas in the summer. So Holbert kind of steps into that role and produces over 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns last season for Blue Valley, and he's nearing 600 yards passing and 7 scores this season. He's already rushed for around 450 yards and 6 touchdowns. So with he and Solomon there, this is a team that can really run the ball, but they've got great receivers as well. You've got a K-State commit and Sterling Lockett out there. Andre Davis has been exceptional, and so Blue Valley is really a potent offense. And we saw that game last week where it was really close throughout. Got it into overtime at Aquinas. Aquinas scores and takes a touchdown lead, and then Blue Valley scores on a touchdown pass from Holbert to Gatlin Samuel, and then Holbert scrambling around on the 2-point conversion for the win, and ran a lot of yards, but actually got in and gave them that huge victory. So if anything for the Tigers, they've given up a lot of points. They've given up over 30 a game. Or nearly a 30 game, and that doesn't bode well when you're facing a team like Blue Valley North that can really put it up. Henry Martin is, an exceptional quarterback. What else can you say? He's over 1,400 yards passing and 20 touchdowns in just 4 games, and he's going to rewrite the Kansas record books for passing, this season. He's got a great receiving group with Mekhi Miller, Jackson Goldberg, Cole Stratton, and then Lucas Bullock out of the backfield. So this should be an outstanding game. I think Blue Valley North is probably your slight favorite in this one just because of how potent their offense has been, but look for Blue Valley to slow this down and grind it out on the ground.
All right, Matt, a big one up in the northeast part of the state as well again as DeSoto travels to Spring Hill, who's off to an unbeaten start.
Yeah, and two teams that were supposed to play last season, but it was canceled due to COVID. And, it's two teams right now. Spring Hill is unbeaten on the eastern half of 5A, along with Mill Valley. Those are the only two. DeSoto right behind them with just one loss. And so this is, again, a good measuring stick for both of these teams halfway through the season, and will do a lot for the seeding order on the eastern half. Spring Hill is really off to a strong start at 4-0. They've given up just 27 points all season, and they've been relatively balanced on offense with, nearing 800 yards on the ground and 650 through the air. Fletcher Pankey, their outstanding quarterback, has completed 65% of his passes, over 600 yards and 11 touchdowns already. Draven Papkin is leading their run game with over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. And so Spring Hill has been very good, albeit against 4A Frontier League competition. They step up now and will face DeSoto, a 5A school. We'll kind of find out what the Wildcats have. Tyler Schulte has taken over for Jackson Miller, who graduated, the outstanding quarterback, and he's done really well and is a dual threat. And so, DeSoto's got things rolling. Brian King's really got that program in a good situation. I think this is an outstanding game. I really like what Spring Hill has done this season, but don't be surprised if DeSoto gets this win just because of the strength of schedule and where that program's been.
All right, Connor, let's go to you. A big one in Pratt as the unbeaten Greenbacks will host the third-ranked team in Class 3A and unbeaten Cardinals at Cheney, which should be a really good one.
Yeah, this is going to be a tremendous contest. You've got two really different styles. Pratt, of course, changed their offense completely the past season. They felt like last year they had a lot of good pieces up front. They had some really nice backs and some really nice linemen, but no real team speed. So they went to the single wing. Walton, of course, a great story. The guy is incredibly strong, well over 400 yards on the ground. The sophomore back has really exploded, 400-plus yards for him, too. And Pratt has just dominated 4 really quality opponents. Coach Holting has done a great job getting guys to buy into single wing, aggressive, downhill style, being strong. You've got that style against Cheney's style, which is passing. Harrison Voth, certainly the best quarterback right now in 3A and maybe top 5 in the state for all classes. He's had multiple games, 3, 4, 5, 6 passing TDs. They've had 2 really quality wins. Kingman week 1, down 14-0. Harrison throws 5 touchdown passes. He's got his brother. He's got Grace, a lot of quality guys. They come back and win. Big matchup here. Can Pratt's DBs guard Cheney's wideouts? I think Cheney's got a little bit too much firepower and a little bit better passing game. This is going to be very, very close, but in my opinion, the edge goes to Cheney.
All right, Connor, we will stick with you in a big one. The 8-man ranks as number 1 versus number 3 go at it. Canton Galva at Little River.
Yeah, and this was a tremendous matchup last year. And this is actually LR's last loss. They lost this game last year. They actually outgained Canton Galva. And then, of course, LR went on that amazing second-half run. Garrison and Stevens, of course, are gone off of that great state championship team. LR was going to kind of change things up some. I've talked with Coach Ayers multiple times this fall. Their offensive line is maybe the best in 8-man 1. Player Canton Galva, of course, very banged up. 6 starters out last week, certainly up front. And, of course, Garrett Maltby has missed the last 2 games at quarterback. His backup has stepped in and played very, very well. It's unclear on whether or not he'll play Friday. And, of course, Tyson Struber, the tremendous wideout, he is approaching all-time 8-man career marks in receiving TDs and career picks. He is, simply put, one of the best all-time players for 8-man that we have ever seen. Overall, I feel like LR is more healthy and certainly has the advantage up front. I think overall this should be a very close game, but I think LR overall gets the edge.
All right, thanks, Matt and Connor. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Special thanks to Matt Gilmore from KPreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, as well as KPreps and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel, and all of our great sponsors, American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, The Save Project, and Think Before You Post. Until next week, this is Sean Boston saying so long, and enjoy Week 5 of the high school football season right here in the state of Kansas. You've been listening to the Kansas Kickoff Show.
You've been listening to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by KPreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Businesses are hiring. Come to Soar Hire, an area hiring event, Tuesday, October 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Uptown Hutch, formerly the Hutchinson Mall. To view participating businesses, visit soarhire.careers. Participating businesses include Hutchinson Public Schools, Tyson Foods, Lowen Corporation, Tech, and PSS. Find it on the web at soarhire.careers. That's SOARHIRE.careers. Be at Uptown Hutch, formerly the Hutchinson Mall, Tuesday, October 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Hi, this is Nick Gosnell. Join me Friday nights after Hutch High football for the Friday Night Scoreboard Show. I'll recap scores from around the state of Kansas. The Friday Night Scoreboard Show brought to you by Next Tech Wireless and APAC Shears Division on BW Radio.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. We'll give you the ins and outs of tonight's game, plus lots of other useful or useless information. It's all in how you look at it. Now, settle back and get set to enjoy this week's Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gowan Stadium. It's homecoming 2021. It's time for Salt Hawk football, and this is the Salt Hawk football pregame show. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado, and Coach, here we are again. We're back home, which is always a good thing, and it's a pretty nice night this evening, although chances of precipitation might be in our future, but we hope not. But it's homecoming for 2021.
Whether it's dry or moist, it's a great night for football.
Moist. That's a word I don't care for. Moist. That's it's dry or wet would be a way to put it. So anyway, exciting week around the high school because it is homecoming. It's always an exciting week. They had the parade yesterday and got that all on Wednesday afternoon. Got that all taken care of. But it is Derby coming to town, and whenever Derby comes to town or Hutch goes to Derby, it's always a good, exciting football game. As they're on a roll. What'd you say? 52 and 2-4 in the last few years.
Yeah, if you go all the way back to 2016, from 2016 right up to tonight, Derby is 52-4.
And that's a lot of classes to come through. Sometimes you had those dips and dives, but not in Derby's case. They're marching right on and defending 6A state champions.
Derby always puts a lot of talent on the field, and they do a good job coaching them. They spread out the field and make it tough on opponents.
Coach Clark's been there a long time now. Did you say 16 years? Is that what you decided?
You're correct. This is his 16th season, and he has a pretty impressive resume going right now with 7 state championships, and they've been in a state championship game 11 out of the last 15 years.
Yep, and they've got it rolling, much like Hutchinson had it rolling a decade ago. Mike Vernon hopes to get back to that level, and he's working hard with his staff to get back to that level. All right, let's go back to the game last week against Newton at Newton. Always a tough place to go play. Kind of dug ourselves a little bit of a hole early on, down 10-0, 10-7 at halftime. Fumbles were some problems with the first couple of possessions. Then you had the muffed onside kick, muffed by way of Hutchinson muffing it and fumbling it, and Newton took advantage of the situation on a couple of those occasions.
The defense came up big because, you're right, Glenn, Newton did a good job of getting extra possessions in that first half, and the defense for Hutchinson did a nice job of making sure they didn't move the ball too much closer to the goal line. They actually attempted 3 field goals in that first half. They made the first attempt, but then barely missed field goal attempts of 50 and 52 yards. Those are long field goal attempts for a high school football team.
Hutchinson kind of got it going in the second half, was leading out that one time at 21-10, and Newton was driving down inside of Hutchinson territory about the 40-yard line or so, and then all of a sudden there was a fumble on the play, and it sounded like this.
Is Gomez, and wants to roll around the outside, still on his feet, trying to pick up some blocks, and it's not there. Loose football! It's loose! Hutchinson looks like they might have it. Let's see. Brandon Rodriguez.
I think Brandon Rodriguez might have came out with it. Let's check it. Yes, he did! Brandon Rodriguez with the big fumble recovery. We need to apologize. It's Braden Rodriguez, but the excitement didn't change the play any. We might have changed his name, but not the play. And Braden Rodriguez, the junior, came up with a big play.
That was the play that sealed the win for Hutchinson. It made it almost impossible for Newton to have a possibility of coming back after that fumble recovery. And then Hutchinson did a nice job of taking advantage of it and putting it in the end zone to cap off that drive and make it 28-10.
Yeah, did a nice job there. As Zach Hogan had a good game. He was able to take it in, and a nice win for Hutchinson. So that sets up a matchup against Derby, and it's always fun when Derby comes to town or when we go to Derby. Like I said, either way you're going to look at it. Both teams are going to get up for it. I go back way back years ago when I was on the sidelines. That was always a big game. The Derby game was always big, in the Bishop Carroll game, which at one time was a non-league encounter at one time. Those are always big games. So exciting to see what's going to take place. We're going to take a break and come back and chat a little bit more about tonight's game. It's homecoming for 2021, I should say, 2021. And they're going to be doing some of the ceremonies before the game and then also at halftime. We'll come back and talk more about tonight's football game right after this.
With Hutch Drugs closure, the medicine shop has been busy accommodating many of their customers. Whether you're a former Hutch Drug customer or a customer at another drugstore, the medicine shop works hard to provide a smooth transition when transferring your medications. Let us know and we can transfer your entire prescription profile. The medicine shop has several knowledgeable pharmacists and technicians to make your drugstore experience pleasant. Call or come by the Hutchinson Medicine Shop to make the medicine shop your pharmacy. The medicine shop in Midtown Hutch.
Hutchinson High School sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show, brought to you by, again, the Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. Joining me now again is Dan Nacarado and Coach Derby. Like we said, 52-4 since 2016. Solid football team over the tutelage of Coach Clark, who's been there 16 years. They consistently turn out some really good Division I athletes year in, year out, and they're just getting it done.
They really do, and it's like every year you look out there and you say, wow, that guy can run. Wow, that guy's big. Wow, that guy can play. And every year they just have amazing players, and they spread out the field and put their opponents in situations where somewhere on that field the Derby Panthers feel like they have a favorable matchup against whoever's across the ball from them.
A few years ago, we kind of stay within a touchdown of them or so, and then there'd be a late touchdown, and all of a sudden the game was over. Last couple of games, they just have been able to put their substitutes in early. That makes it always an interesting game for us to be able to pick up the appropriate numbers and everything. And it seems to me like they just reload. They don't rebuild whatsoever. They just reload.
That's true. If you go back to 2002 through 2012, the Hutchinson Salthawks dominated the games through that period of time.
A different decade now.
Right? Mm-hmm. And now if you go back, you have to go back to 2014 was the last time the Hutchinson Salthawks prevailed over Derby, and they actually played them twice in 2014, once in the regular season, and then they faced them in the playoffs, and both games were classics. One of those games, Hutchinson won 35-28. The other one, actually, they went both directions. Derby won one of those games 35-28, and then Hutchinson won the other one in the playoffs 35-28.
Yeah, I remember that. Got him in the playoffs and made that happen. You look at that, so you're looking back about 7 years. Seniors and juniors then would have been in about the third and fourth grade. That always amazes me when you get those long streaks kind of going to remember what it was like. And Hutchinson certainly is the underdog in this ball game today.
That would be true. I mean, Derby is coming off of a state championship, and they've if you look back, they won state championships in 2016. They were runners-up in 2017 in a game they probably should have won that just didn't go their way at the end, and then state champions in 2018, 2019, and 2020. So pretty much when Derby plays, they're going to be the favorite no matter who the opponent is.
Whenever we would travel to Derby, I always felt like they had their ambiance of tailgating is probably second to none. Maybe Salina South or Salina Central at the new Salina Stadium might rival it a little bit, but it's a beautiful setting with smell of the hot dogs and barbecue in the air whenever we go down there. Hopefully tonight some of our fans will be tailgating the Hutchinson Salt Hawk way.
Well, we certainly appreciate every opportunity to see the Salt Hawks in action here in Hutchinson at Gowan Stadium. It's a fan-friendly facility here at Hutchinson. The players have good facilities with the locker rooms. The field, the playing surface is in great shape, and you and I particularly love the press box.
Well, the press box are really, really nice. And by the way, we'll have a substitute video photographer tonight as Sarah makes her return to fill in for Matt. He actually has a little road trip up to Kansas City with his mom planned to close out this weekend. So Sarah stepped in, and she's going to be back with his video photography.
Both Sarah and Matt do such a wonderful job with the camera work. We truly appreciate what they do.
Matt's kind of filling in a little bit and starting to feel like part of the team. Number one, he always enjoys Melissa's pictures of us after the game. She does a great job as well. I'm referring to Melissa Lepp that does a great job with taking photos up to, 200 a game just about?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought this up, Glenn, because to have a successful high school football program, it takes so many different people above and beyond the players, and of course that's the centerpiece, and the coaches, but then you've got all kinds of trainers, filmers, broadcast crew. You've got people like Melissa that kind of manage all different kinds of things with fundraising and making sure that the team has the resources they need. And then you've got Kevin. Eric is Kevin's brother that used to be at Hutchinson. You've got Kevin Armstrong in the AD position and the administrators. And it really takes a lot of people to have a successful high school football program.
You really do, and including, like we said, you mentioned the broadcast crew and everything, and even our folks back on the board that help us out, that keep us on each and every week. To have a good product, you got to have a lot of people behind you, and that's just about anything. Television the same way, pro sports, a lot of the behind-the-scenes people makes it extremely big. So which I want to mention, one of the behind-the-scenes people that's from Hutch High is Chase Hartman out in L.A., the L.A. Chargers, and they won at Arrowhead the other day and got a win. So congratulations to Chase Hartman, who's a graduate and one of your former students that you had at Hutch Community College as well. That was a former Salt Hawk, as a part of that team along with Brandon Staley, who's the head coach that came through Hutch Community College.
It was a pleasure coaching Chase Hartman in high school football, and a pleasure seeing him in class at Hutchinson Community College. And I'm just so happy for him and that program to have success with the San Diego Chargers. I've still got
not San Diego. They
excuse me. That's right. And they got a beautiful facility out there in Los Angeles. But as much as I like all of those people, my heart's still with the Chiefs.
I know it. I was pulling for the Chiefs, but then when it was all said and done, I was happy for the gang there. I'm going to touch base with Chase here before too long and try to catch up with him on the Reno County Coaches Show. With that said, it's time to get set, and we're going to take a break, but we'll come back with keys to the game. We'll be back with more right after this.
Get your prescriptions with no hassle at the Little White Castle. You've heard that medicine shop jingle for over 20 years. We know that picking up prescriptions at the drugstore can be challenging. At the medicine shop, we try our best to make your drugstore experience pleasant. With 4 pharmacists and several knowledgeable pharmacy technicians, the medicine shop has the manpower to efficiently accommodate you. So next time you need a prescription with no hassle, try the Little White Castle, the Hutchinson Medicine Shop in Midtown Hutch.
Hutchinson High School sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Well, welcome back to the Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. Again, as I mentioned, homecoming. It's coming up in just a little bit. Actually, the king will be crowned before the game, and then the queen at halftime. And I think coaches, over the years, every homecoming used to take place at halftime, and I never met a coach that liked it.
It takes the players out of their normal routines, and you have to make some adjustments. And from a coaching point of view, while it's a great experience for the kids and their parents, it's a distraction from competing on the football field, and it makes an extra level of challenges during homecoming week.
When you and I met with Coach Vernon this week, I didn't ask him about how. I mean, I got the feeling that the week is kind of chopped up, and they had the parade on Wednesday, and he wants to get them out there and practice. They've been having some competition and practice as well toward the end. That maybe makes the coaches sometimes have to run gassers. And I know he was looking forward to this game, though, this week. So what are you ready for this? Keys to the game.
Okay, well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that one of the linebackers who's been a key part of the Salt Hawk success, Noah Ragoza, will be out tonight and maybe for another game or two with an injury. So Dylan Garrett and Landon Dixon will have to step up and come into the game and replace. First and foremost, Hutchinson needs to stop that Derby Panther run game. So they'll probably go with a 4-man defensive front most of the night tonight, because you've got to take something away from your opponent. Derby is a very well-balanced team, but I think one of the keys to victory tonight is Hutchinson has to take away that run game as best they can, and particularly a young man, the tailback number 2, Dylan Edwards, who's the son of K-State graduate Leon Edwards. That Dylan Edwards has pretty much been running wild in every game so far this season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if the Salt Hawks can contain him and stop him. Maybe contain's the best word to use there. Not sure going to be able to entirely stop him, but contain him to situations where they have to kick the football away.
Exactly, and so you want to try to take away the run game, and then you have to make tackles in space, because there will be times where Derby just spreads the field out from sideline to sideline, and you got to make an open field tackle.
And Quinzer Newquist has been up to the challenge. He's had a couple great games. Injured a couple weeks ago, but he played quite well against Newton.
That's right. He's a guy that he seems to always come through, whether he has an injury, whether he's at 80% or 100%, he always finds a way to come through.
And he likes ice cream. I saw him at Brahms the other night.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Good to know. So anyway, some of the guys were in there after the JV freshman combination game against Newton. So what's another key for the Salt Hawks to get a win tonight?
Well, they've got to fill those gaps. Again, Derby will spread the field from sideline to sideline. They'll go with pretty wide offensive line splits. And that defense has to fill in all of those gaps, and everybody's got to take care of their part of the field. Offensively, it's kind of simple, really, this week. Hutchinson has to grind out 4 yards at a time, maintain possession of the football, avoid penalties, and just go on sustained drives where you're keeping that potent Derby Panther offense over there on the sideline while your offense controls the ball.
And without saying also, don't turn the football over.
Exactly. You can't give them extra chances. When you're facing a team as talented as Derby, you just don't have a very big margin for error.
What's Derby have to do to stop the Salt Hawks?
Well, Derby will probably have a similar philosophy in that they want to stop the Salthawk run game. Last week, Dorian Hippen had a really breakout performance. The defensive tackle converted to fullback within the last few weeks, picked up 119 yards, scored 3 touchdowns. Zach Hogan was especially impressive when he had the ball, and when he didn't have the ball, he was impressive catching it, he was impressive blocking, and he was impressive carrying the ball. And then you've got Noah Kokar, who is a dual-threat quarterback. But Derby wants to force Hutchinson into throwing the ball, and they want to get him in long third-down situations where they force Hutchinson to call some plays that they would prefer not to have to call.
I like the way that and you described it during the broadcast very adequately, the way that Kokar was able to roll out of the pocket and also the way the offensive line was able to protect Noah, just to give him a few more seconds back there. The week before, you and I kind of felt like he had happy feet. That's what I'm going to call him. He dropped back, but boy, if that first pass wasn't there, he took off on the run. The other night against Newton, he kind of bided his time a little bit, and the result was more positive.
He really did. He's grown into the role of being if it was a basketball team, you want the point guard to distribute the ball.
Coach described him as a point guard.
And run the off. And I think Noah has always been a fun, talented player to watch because he's so fast and so talented. But I think last week we saw him mature into a quarterback that understands I've got to take a leadership role, I've got to distribute the football, and I've got to get a lot of different players involved in the offense.
Well, it was fun to watch him last week. I hope to see the same result this week as we'll be getting it going on just a little bit. So that is your keys to the game. So Dan and I'll get set. We'll get Sarah over on the video photographer side of the booth here at Gowan Stadium, and it's homecoming. We'll be back with more football action and homecoming coming your way right after this. This closes out, again, this week's Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. See you in a little bit.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salt Hawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
Left is Kelsey, sprints in motion to the right flat. Now they're going to run a screen. Tight end Bridgelaire set up at the 10, at the 5, left side, touchdown! Kansas City! Finally, the screen works to perfection!
This Sunday, the Chiefs look to right the ship when they travel to Philly to battle the Eagles. Pregame starts at 11 on your home for Kansas City Chiefs football.
Our coverage begins at noon with the kickoff here on KWBW Radio.
It's time for Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports on BW Radio. The Salt Hawks are brought to you in part by First National Bank, H&R Block, Pools Plus, Next-Tech Wireless, APAC Shears, and the Medicine Shop. Also thanks to these Salt Hawk boosters, Hayden and Company, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, and American Family Insurance agent Travis Rodenbach. Now your host for Salt Hawk Sports, Glenn Grunwald.
Hi, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gowan Stadium. We're just getting set for our national anthem by the High School Expressives. We'll go down on the field for that. round of applause for, again, our national anthem. Hi, everybody. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson, the video photographer tonight on HutchPost.com if you want to watch the game on the stream. And, Dan, I look at that flag. It's sitting limp over there on the north part of Gowan Stadium, which indicates to me absolutely no wind and a really pretty night to play football.
It's a great night for football. The weather couldn't be any better. A hint of fall in the air, but still not the chill where you need a jacket yet. No wind, clear skies. It looks like we'll stay dry, hopefully for the duration of the football game tonight. And you couldn't ask for a better Kansas night for high school football.
Yeah, exactly. 75 degrees. Special thanks to Bryson Brownlee, who's running the board back at KWBW Studios tonight. He's our chief engineer for tonight's ball game. Don't forget, directly following the contest, we'll switch it over to Nick Hemphill. Check that, Nick Gosnell. We had Nick Hemphill on this morning talking about garage sales. We'll talk about Nick Gosnell to be able to chat a little bit and have the scoreboard show. Again, the Hutchinson KWBW scoreboard show. Listen each and every Friday night for all the action and get your scores from your favorite teams. Derby presents a big problem just about every way, defensively, offensively, and special teams. They are a very good football team. Hutchinson has a big challenge tonight, Dan.
Derby has it rolling. If you go back to 2016, in that period of time from the 26th season till today, Derby is 52-4. And you look at those state championships, 2013, 2015, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2020. And they just, for the last decade, Derby has been a very impressive football program.
They really have. Now, one point of interest I want to make, if you're watching on the stream or if you're in Gowan Stadium, have a radio on, you're watching, there's been a number change. Number 33 will be worn by Devin Hackney tonight. He lost his father this week to illness, and our heart, thoughts, and prayers go out to Sophie Hill down in Texas and the whole Hill family as well as the Hackney family with the young man playing with a heavy heart. And that's tough to do, but he's elected to play tonight. But he will be wearing number 33 in honor of his father.
Amen.
Again, there, Hutchinson about to break through the banner down there. This is homecoming, so a lot of festivities happening. And we had the king was named right before the start of the football game. We'll wait till the queen at halftime, but that's all the exciting time. Who was the queen candidate that won the crown the queen?
We'll find out the queen at halftime, but in the pregame tonight, the king candidates were announced. 4 of them Salt Hawk football players: Stephon Hunter, Zach Hogan, Chase Kepler, Khalil Mendoza, all up for homecoming king. Also Eric Mendoza and Noah Bowler, and the king is Noah Bowler, and we saw him and listened to him sing the national anthem along with the Hutch High Expressives.
Yep, exactly. So congratulations to Noah. We'll find out who the queen is to be crowned at halftime. It'll be a little longer halftime. And also they will talk about the Davis Teacher of the Year recognition as well. Salt Hawk Marching Band will perform. Dan's team will perform. And, again, the crowning of the Queen along with the fight song all taking place at halftime. So both teams out on the field. Captains heading out to the field to see who will win the toss. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We'll come back and talk more about tonight's ball game. It's Derby taking on the Hutch Salt Hawks at Gowan Stadium tonight. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salt Hawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Cody Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salt Hawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424 or visit codysmith.law. That's .law. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the Bankruptcy bankruptcy code. Go Salthawks.
All Vader Jackson financial advisors are now Envision Investment Group. Due to the growth of the investment and client relations team, they have a new location to better serve you. 15 Compound Drive in Hutchinson. Stay tuned for an open house. Time and date to be announced soon. We understand there have been many changes, so please feel free to reach us at 669-8291. Check for updates at envisionig.com. Envision Investment Group, your future is our focus. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Now through December 7th is your annual Medicare D sign-up period. The Hutch Medicine Shop once again is the one and only place you need to consider to help get your best plan. Throw away any literature you receive in the mail, and don't be misled by TV ads. If you want to get your meds local and get the best prices, come to the Medicine Shop. We'll input your drug list and find your best plan. Medicare D sign-up is now at the Hutch Medicine Shop in Midtown.
Hi, everybody. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. And if you see our cheerleaders in the stream all wearing pink, it's because they got the kiddos. The cheering clinic is also involved with halftime. And also some of the cheering before the ball games. Love to see the kiddos get involved down there and all having different T-shirts. And there's a whole bunch of young wannabes cheerleaders down there, Dan. I love it.
Big crowd on hand tonight at Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson. Derby travels very well. A lot of fans in the seats across the way on the east side, and on the home side on the west, it's probably the biggest crowd we've seen at a Salt football game in quite a while.
Student section as well, and good football crowd. Hopefully we're in for a great game. It's going to be a tall task for Hutchinson. Coach Vernon talks about that, but he was excited for the ball game when we had lunch with him this week, and he couldn't wait, and I think it's going to be a fun time. So Hutchinson deferred. They won the toss, deferred.
No, they want the ball.
They want the ball. Yes, they do want the ball. So Hutchinson will be receiving the ball, defending the goal to our north or to our left as you watch. You have King down there, our nearest Salt Hawk. It'd be Terrell King. He's on the near side. He is a true freshman, referred to true by way of freshman, and also, of course, Noah Kokar, which we met his grandparents here from Healy, Kansas. He's over on the far side at the 5-yard line wearing the blue shoes tonight, breaking out the blues.
Yeah, those are pretty stylish.
Yes, they certainly are. So we're about set to get underway, and Derby will be kicking the football off. And he gets set to put a toe in it, and we are underway tonight. And here's the kick. It's taken at the 15 around the left side, and Hutchinson trying to get some positive yardage. A flag flies in late. Let's see what that one's going to be.
That was Landon Dixon that fielded the kick. It was a courageous return because it was one of those high kicks that landed at about the 20-yard line, gave Derby Panthers plenty of time to get down there and cover it. But Landon Dixon caught it and tried to get something out of it.
Ball's at the 22.
Unfortunately, the penalty is against Hutchinson.
Yeah, it goes against Hutchinson, so it'll back it up. Hutch will start a little bit deeper in their own territory. Just underway, 11:56 to go in his first quarter of play. Salt Hawks of Hutchinson with the football for their first possession.
12-yard line.
We'll see what Kokar and company are going to do with it. They'll mark it at the 12, as Dan just indicated.
Again, Hutchinson wants to grind out 4 or 5 yards of play, eat up clock, keep that Derby offense over on the other sideline.
Cooper Doobie, the center, up under with him is Noah Kokar, man in motion. The turn to give on the left side and running room out there. And caught quickly. Coming around was Armstrong with the football. Daquan Armstrong around that left side picks up a couple yards. Second down, and we're going to say about 7 to go on the ball on the 15-yard line. So usually we see Hippen back there, or we see Hogan, but that was a nice play to Armstrong trying to spread out that defense.
Started off with a little bit of a counter type play.
Good solid defense by Derby. Man in motion again. That's Hogan, the keeper by Kokar. He shuffles upfield, picks up 2 yards. It'll be a 3rd down and 5 situation facing Hutchinson at the 17, Hutch's own 17.
Derby is just so fast defensively. When it looks like there might be a little bit of space to run, that Derby defense converges on the ball so quickly.
3rd down and we'll say 5, ball on the 17-yard line. You got to get to about the 22, a little past that, a little bit longer than the 22.
Derby, one of the biggest high schools in Kansas, enrollment 2,147 compared to 1,328 at Hutchinson.
Yeah, they got a beautiful field and setting, brand new press box. Kokar wants to throw the football across as a receiver. Open, it's caught at the 30. Hogan has it. He's all the way up to the 40, up to close to the 42-yard line. Nice catch by Hogan. 1st and 10, Hutchinson moved the chains.
Zach Hogan found some open space as he went out in the receiving route, and Noah Kokar put the ball right on the money, hit him in stride.
Hogan busted out of that backfield and was able to get open right around the 25-yard line and took it all the way up to the 42.
This drive started on the 12. 3 plays later, Hutchinson is on their 42.
Flexbone offense kind of flexing its muscles a little bit there and going with that option pass. Ball on the near hash mark at the 42. Hogan, the quarterback, he's got Hippen in there. He keeps it and up across up to about the 43-yard line. Hogan on the run. Looked like it might have been a busted play, Dan. He got a couple yards out of it, however. 2nd down and 8.
Through 3 games, Derby is averaging 57 points a game. They're giving up about 21 a game, but 36 of those came to Bishop Carroll a couple of weeks ago.
We'll say 2nd down and 9 now. Nose of the football right at the 43-yard line for Hutchinson. Again, Noah Kokar.
This is my favorite Salthawk uniform, the blue jerseys and white pants.
That's good looking. Kokar trying to keep it himself. Well, he's met solid defense out there. Getting a stick on him is Cole Minton.
Cole Minton, one of the captains for Derby. The 5'10", 190-pound linebacker. He likes contact, and he finds the ball.
Hip is going to be at that tailback slot now, and more than likely Hogan might move to one of the slots. Kokar getting his signal in from the sidelines, and now they get set. 3rd down and 10, Salthawks. More than likely a passing play, but we'll see what they mix up. Grissom also in there, and one of the slot backs.
This is a situation the Salthawks have been practicing, 3rd and long.
Back to pass, Kokar sets up. Here comes the rush. He comes out of the pocket, and he's going to go nowhere. Got to the 40, and that's about it. A big sack by the defense for Derby, and they came swarming after him. The pocket collapsed quickly. Good coverage downfield. So 4th down in a punting situation, 4th and 12 from the 40.
I think that might have been the linebacker Miles Wash that got in there for the quarterback sack. He's a junior. You might remember his brother Lim Wash was the quarterback last year for Derby, although Hutchinson didn't get to play Derby last year because of COVID-19 over at Derby High School.
Dylan Edwards, who is a junior running back, 5'8", 155, back deep, and the ball sails out of bounds. So they'll angle it out and set it. It's going to be good field position for Derby at the 43. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers as they get their first pause on the ball, so to speak, with 8:01 to go in this first quarter play.
I like that, pause. Because they're the Panthers.
Yes, exactly right. No score on the scoreboard. Buying books and buying books. 1st and 10 for the Derby Panthers. Actually, I hadn't even premeditated that in. It just came out.
That was well done.
Here's the snap. The give. The keeper around the outside, and around the outer perimeter is going to be Thatcher, and he picks up positive yardage. A nice pickup of about 4 on the play around that right end.
Mercer Thatcher, the 6'4", 190-pound senior quarterback. He's had a lot of success this year so far.
Tell you what, they've always had strength at quarterback in Derby and running backs. That has been their forte, so to speak. The keep by Thatcher again, straight up the middle, has the 1st down and rolls forward to about the Hutchinson 43-yard line before contact is made. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers as they're moving it and moving it effectively.
That time, Mercer Thatcher read the defense and made a good read to keep the ball himself.
Hurry-up offense comes up quickly. Thatcher in the shotgun. Gets a snap, and this time he hands it off. The little running back has it. He's across the 35. Positive yardage close to the 1st down. With the ball was Dylan Edwards. Or Dylan Edwards, excuse me.
I think he does pronounce it Dylan.
And he's short of the 1st down by only about a yard.
Edwards is one of the best in the state. He has been racking up a couple hundred yards or more every game. Against Bishop Carroll, he had 278 yards.
2nd down and 1. Give across and not there. The surge of about maybe a half a yard on the play. It brings up a 3rd down and short situation for the Derby Panthers.
Griffin Cook did a nice job for Hutchinson on that defensive line.
Early score, Great Bend 7, Dodge City nothing in the first quarter play out in the WAC. Third and short here facing the Derby Panthers.
Going out of the pistol.
In a man in motion. Thatcher, the quarterback, gets it, keeps it himself around the right side. Now he wanted to pitch it, but not there, and the Salthawks are all over him and throwing back for a 4-yard loss.
Derby went to the speed option to the right with the quarterback, as you said, Glenn, was hoping to pitch the ball to Dylan Edwards, but Hutchinson got into the backfield and didn't really have a chance to pitch it.
Well, just about like a basketball play where they screened off the man that was going to get the pitch and was not available to him, and he got ate up.
Braden Rodriguez
and
play.
Offsides, it's going to be an encroachment by the defense.
Did Hutchinson just give up a first down?
No, it's going to be. He's pulled off.
All right, it's against
We saw the left end jump, and you had the same reaction I did, Sarah. I thought, oh, that's against us, but it was not the case. He was pulled off sides. So encroachment is the call. 4th down and about 8 to go for the Panthers.
Mercer could punt it out of the shotgun formation. So you don't know whether Derby's going to punt this ball or actually go for it on 4th down. Hutchinson has to just play straight defense. If Derby does punt it, they'll just let the ball roll.
Stoppage of play. It's going to be a Derby timeout. We'll get a quick timeout with 5:11 to go in this first half of play. No score as of yet. Derby facing a 4th down situation when we return right after this 1-minute timeout.
Your choices at Prairie Star Health Center just keep getting better. Dr. Cecilia Hinton has joined our exceptional staff and invites you to rely on her as your primary care provider for your health and wellness concerns. And she'll be right there with you to address any chronic diseases, aggravating pain, or other issues. Dr. Hinton knows it's all about you at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Let's get those taxes done. At H&R Block, we can file your return by October 15th, no matter where you filed your extension. Avoid a late filing penalty and get every credit and deduction you're entitled to. Drop in and stay, or drop off and go. Or call 662-5321 to make an appointment today. At H&R Block, Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Well, here we go. 4th down and about an 8 situation for Derby. They want to run the football, trying to turn the corner. They've got the first down and more. It's Thatcher on the run. He's all the way down inside of Salthawk territory, out of bounds at about the 12-yard line.
That is a 30-yard quarterback keeper.
Well, there was no doubt about that, was there?
Nope. It was a pretty well blocked play, and Mercer Thatcher made the most of it.
Took it right around the outer edge and was able to take it down. Now we're facing a 1st and 10 situation from the 12, and timeout taken by the official, and see exactly what he is going to confer.
There's a flag at the 6-yard line. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Now let's see exactly what they're going to mix out of that. Now they're going to pick up the flag.
Wave it off.
And they'll say incidental. So no problem there. So Panthers now setting up 1st and 10.
That was a huge 4th and 8 conversion for a 30-yard gain. That's the type of thing that can change the course of a game.
And here we go, straight ahead running. Edwards, he's caught at the 5 and dropped there. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 3 situation.
Good open field solo tackle by Kinzer Newquist coming up from his free safety position to make the stop at the 5. Looked like Dylan Edwards was probably going to skate into the end zone.
Thatcher's been the difference so far, Dan, in this first quarter of play. The keeper on the outside, he's going to keep it, try to knife toward the goal line. Does he get in? No, he doesn't. He's a yard short, but good enough probably for the first down. So it'll be a first and goal situation.
Again, this is where defensively, first and goal at the 1. Defensively, you might as well just gamble, bring everybody up to the line of scrimmage, and storm the castle.
Then see man in motion now. They'll send it. Thatcher holds off, checks out. Again, Ben Patterson on the stop on that last one. You're right. There's a keeper straight ahead running, and in there for the touchdown is going to be Derby.
Made it look easy, didn't he?
So basically, it was a short snap, and it came to number 80 out there, and it's Drake Thatcher, and he takes it in for the TD. So it's 6-0 Derby with the early points on the board. 3:52 to go in the first quarter of play.
Drake Thatcher, the 6'4", 200-pound tight end normally.
There's a kick is up and good, and Derby with an early lead now with 3:52 to go in the first quarter of play, leading Hutch 7-0. We'll wait the Derby kickoff coming your way right after this 30-second timeout.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Gowan Stadium. 7-0 Derby at the early lead. Derby with a nice drive that kind of looked like it was going to stall Dan. Hutchinson had him in fourth down, a long situation, but Thatcher was able to get a long run out of it all the way down to the 12. And then they were able to punch it in with probably his brother, Drake Thatcher, taking in from a short snap situation for the touchdown, and point after was good.
Kevin Armstrong, the activities director for Hutchinson High School, visiting with the White Hat. We think that that's about a microphone issue. If you're hearing some static, that's coming from the White Hat's microphone.
And now they get set.
The referee, I should say. Well, coaches just always call him the White Hat guy.
All right. Simmons gets set to kick off now for Derby. He will approach the football and put a toe into it. It's going to be taken at about the 3-yard line. Backpedaling there is Kokar. Comes across, contact made, and they're going to be at the exact same spot right around the 12 that they were, Hutchinson was when they started this last drive, which stalled out of midfield.
Excellent kick coverage by Derby.
Tell you what, you look at Derby, number 1. Coach Clark's been there for, what did you say, 16 years in the pregame?
This is his 16th season at Derby.
He's been there a long time, and
you know, he became the Derby head coach at age 26 back in 2006.
Blocking the back is going to back it up farther, Dan. It's going to mark it at the 6-yard line, so Hutch will set up shop first and 10 for their own 6. But he's done a nice job of building that. Now, a lot of kids end up transferring to Derby. I think that a lot of that's going to stop due to the fact that the Bishop Carroll and Cape and Mount Carmel now with both good football teams in Wichita. A lot of times a Wichita kid would transfer to go to school at Derby for their athletic programs that they have over there. Kokar gives quickly to Hip, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage and dropped quickly.
Nothing there on that play. Brandon Clark in his 16th season is 136-39 with 7 state championship rings.
And like you mentioned, the 52-4 over the past few seasons is pretty impressive.
I mean,
would you call that a dynasty, Dan?
I think you would have to classify it as that.
I think so
now.
too. Same way that they did the Hutch wins when they won 7 of 8.
Unusual for a 26-year-old to become a head coach of a big high school program, but he was ready.
Kokar, back to pass. Quick open shot on the outside to Hogan. He gathers it in across the 10 up to about the 14-yard line. I think he's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down, maybe 2. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 situation.
It was a good play, though. It was a safe, quick pass, and you get the ball to Zach Hogan out in space. Zach's a good receiver. I like Zach Hogan. He can block, he can receive, he can run the ball. He's the type player that makes your team better.
Yeah, he's a good kid as well. Coach Vernon talked about we got to get the ball in Hogan's hands more by way of pass or run. Kokar, third down and short, keeps it, pitches it on the outside, trying to cut corners. Hogan, he's got the first down and more all the way out to about the 27-yard line. He'll check that to 24. It's enough for the first down. He stepped out of bounds right around the 24-yard line. That's where they'll mark it. 1st and 10 Hutch.
That's a good football play. They faked the dive right up the middle. Derby bit on the fake. Kokar pulled the ball, pitched it to Hogan, who had some open territory to pick up the first down.
Whiteouts, check that. Whiteouts to the left side and tied in on that right side. Hogan will set up in the slot. Kokar, the quarterback. Met his grandparents before the game. He'll keep it. Tries to go right side and picks up a couple yards. And again, if you missed it, we want to announce our symphonies to Sophie Hill down in Texas and the Hackney family. Is Devin Hackney losing his father this week, wearing number 33 in honor of him tonight.
Devin usually wears number 38, went to number 33, and he plays a safety position. Great open field tackler.
2nd down and 8. Ball on the right at the 26-yard line of Hutchinson. Kokar down under center, wants to throw the football. Now he's flushed out of pocket, trying to run for his life around that left side. Gets the corner turn and picks up some positive yardage. How he did that, I don't know, because he was being chased all over the place out there.
That was Andon Carpenter that came through initially to put pressure on Noah Kokar.
And that's the stepson of Jeff Crosby, who was a coach on Ryan Rhodes' football staff with Hutchinson Community College a couple years ago.
Carpenter, a big young man, 6'1", 260 pounds, and he came through immediately. He just went right through the line of scrimmage to get into the backfield.
Positive yardage picked up, though, by Kokar. 3rd down and 6 to call now. More than likely a passing play, maybe an option around the side. Ball's on the left hash. See what they dial up here. They'll keep it on the left. They'll go left. Hogan trying to get some more out of it. He does. He spurts forward and gets the first down. He dove forward at the 40. That'll move the chains for the 2nd time on this drive.
Good call, Glenn. They went to the option left that time. That's the first time they've run the option to the left in this football game. That's a good-looking play. That is exactly what the flex bone offense is designed to do.
Well, normally you go to the what I call the strong side where the ball's on the left hash, but they went with the short side that time, was able to pick up the first down by a nice run by Hogan out to the 39 officially is where they mark it.
Noah Kokar is probably better at making pitches while he's running at full speed than anybody that we've had going all the way back many, many years.
1st and 10 with 1:36 to go in this first quarter of play. They give straight ahead running, nothing there but a flag flies.
Right in the middle of the line of scrimmage, that flag came in. I was thinking back to the Josh Abernathy days in the early 2000s where he was a magician with making pitches on the run. Noah Kokar can do it really well also. John Sellers did a good job of that too.
Personal foul is going to be called against the Salt Hawks.
That's a big one.
It will be. It'll mark it down. First down to play over again, but they're going to make it way back. And this one's going to carry with it a 15-yarder. It'll mark it all the way back to the 25, and they got to go to the 49 for the first down.
Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about in the keys to tonight's victories for Hutchinson is they had to play penalty-free because when you're playing against a team with as much speed and talent as Derby, you have that small margin for error, and you just really don't want to stop drives by committing penalties.
First down and 24, ball on the 25-yard line. What do you dial up here, Dan? More than likely a pass play, or do you go for it on the first down or try to get as much back as you can?
To a run.
And they'll do that. They'll pitch it on the outside. Hogan's ate up out there, thrown to the turf right at the 19-yard line. Loss of 6 on the play, so this is going to make it a 2nd down and 30.
Cade Sheldon got into the backfield from his linebacker position. He read the option, and normally the linebackers take the quarterback, but that time he was assigned to take the pitchback.
Clock at the 42-second mark of this first quarter play. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson, along with Bryson Brownlee back at the BW Studios doing the engineer work tonight.
Makes sense because Cade Sheldon's an outside linebacker.
Kokar back in the pocket, gets out there and goes to the left side. Now he loses the football and jumps on at the 20. In pursuit of him quickly out there was Andon Carpenter, and lost the ball, was not able to even throw if he wanted to, and then brings up a big third down call. 3rd down and 29, and that's going to be the end of the quarter.
Slipped out of his hand.
We'll change sides, change ends, and get set for the second quarter of play. Your score at the end of one quarter of play, it's the Panthers of Derby 7, the Salthawks of Hutchinson nothing. We'll be back with second quarter action coming your way right after this 1 minute timeout.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Need a pharmacy you can rely on? One where they focus on learning your name and your needs? Being the best pharmacy possible, having a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and stocking the products you need is what Ashcraft Pharmacy is all about. Whether it is dry skin, a cough, or runny nose, aches and pains, or something that requires prescription medications, you can count on Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson. Stop in, call, pick up curbside, or we'll be happy to deliver. Ashcraft Pharmacy, Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Welcome back. Started the second quarter of play. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado and Sarah Peterson. 7-0 Derby with the lead. 3rd down and 29 for Hutchinson. You don't have a lot of 3rd down and 29s in your arsenal as they have the ball on their own 20-yard line, but let's see if they dial one up right now.
Some coaches quick kick on 3rd and long like this because the quarterback is the punter for Hutchinson, Noah Kokar, but Hutchinson doesn't go out of a shotgun formation, so it makes it a little harder to do that.
And we'll see what they're going to dial up here. Another first quarter score, Mays 7, Salina South 0, first quarter of action. That's another Ark Valley Chisholm Trail Division 1 score.
Hutchinson.
A little confusion on offense now.
30 yards of penalties in that first quarter whistled against Hutchinson.
All right, now we get set.
Oh my.
And another timeout taken. This one's by the Hutch Salthawks. So we'll work in another. This time let's take a 30-second timeout. Hutchinson trailing Derby 7-0, facing a 3rd down and 29. We'll be back in a half minute.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Hutchinson facing a 3rd down and 29 after the timeout taken.
Not often you see a team take a timeout before they run a snap.
I had just mentioned there was some confusion out there. Burgess was starting to set out on the outside. Now he goes in motion. Back to pass Kokar. Cross. He's going long. He has a receiver out there. Short of the catch is Hogan at the 45. He was going for the home run down that left sidelines. Did not get a punt situation now. Noah have to kick it away.
Pretty good coverage by Jameer Clemens at the defensive back position. He's one of the captains for Derby. Oh, and there's another penalty against Hutchinson.
Sure is. It's going to be declined. It's a legal procedure.
So even had that pass been completed, it would have come back.
And so Hutch will be kicking the football away. So 7-0 Derby with the lead, 11:55 to go, quarter number 2 here at Gowan Stadium. It's homecoming night. Be a little bit longer halftime than normal. There's the snap. Kokar with the kick, high end over end kick. And it's going to hit at the Hutch 45 and take a Hudson bounce. Edwards back there to left. And he's going to pick it up. He's going to turn to the left side around the 50, down to 40, down the sidelines, and finally knocked out of bounds. Boy, what a chance he took. But, when you're leading 7-0 and you have good field position, you can take those chances, and he did it.
Yeah, that was a tough one because it wasn't on the first hop either. That ball was bouncing around a couple of times. And normally you just want the punt return man to get away from it so it doesn't take a bad hop and graze against his leg or something.
I would think that Edwards probably had a good look and knew, kind of felt like he had some room on that left side if he could field it cleanly, and he did.
That's the mark of a confident player.
They'll mark it at the 32, 1st and 10 from the Hutchinson 32. Thatcher wants to throw it. Got a receiver. It's incomplete. It bounces back, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. It's good defense out there. And making the big hit was a Salt Hawk, and a little banged up. Finally getting up is Newquist. He's going to be okay. He and Hackney were both right in the vicinity of the catch. But it was not a catch. It came out incomplete is the ruling. 2nd down and 10. Here's the snap. Hatcher wants to run around the outside right side, and Hutchinson trying to get to it. There's a flag on the play. Rodriguez makes the stop along with a couple of other Salt Hawks. Jefferson in on the stop as well.
Might have been a face mask or
We'll
a
have
horse
to take
collar.
a look. Nice job by Aaron Jefferson along with Braden Rodriguez.
That was a quarterback keeper by design the whole way. Yeah, they're marking it off
it's
against Derby.
So not a face mask, so more than likely a block in the back. It's going to be a big one, Dan. It's going to be back to about the 41-yard line. So Derby going backwards as well, like Hutchinson was back in the last quarter. 2nd and 19 to call.
It's a big offensive line for Derby. You were looking at those sizes before.
I'm shaking my head up here. I was reading them off to you, and it sounded like a junior college offensive line with the size they have.
290, 280, 250.
Here's a fake to Edwards. Wants to go long. Hatcher has a receiver. Catches, made it to 5. Touchdown as Hunter couldn't break it up. And Derby is on the board with a beautiful pass from their quarterback, Thatcher, all the way down to Brown. And beautiful catch, and then the touchdown.
He hit him right in stride. It was just man-to-man coverage. Pretty good coverage, but a perfect pass always beats perfect coverage.
Yeah, Caden Brown, 41 yards out. And it's 13-0. Hutchinson with the trailing as Derby with the lead. The point after kick is up, and it is good. In your score with 11:03 to go in his first quarter of play. Derby 14, Hutchinson nothing. We await the Derby kickoff coming your way right after this 30-second timeout.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Glenn Grumwell, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson on the stream, Bryson Brownlee on the board back at the BW Studios. 14-0 is your score. Derby on top. Derby to kick it away. What a beautiful 41-yard pass by Mercer Thatcher. Just put it right on the mark to Brown, and he took it in from 41 yards out. He caught it at about the 10 and took it into the end zone.
One of those over-the-shoulder passes that hit his receiver right in stride. The defender running close to the receiver with pretty good coverage, but the pass was just dropped in there perfectly.
It was as we say in Kansas, it was a purdy pass.
It was purdy.
It was purdy. And nice job done by the receiver for Derby. Hutchinson's going to have to take note of that as we go forward.
As we said, Derby spreads out the field from sideline to sideline. They're the type team that almost forces you to go man-to-man matchups somewhere on the field, and they have a knack for finding the right person.
Here comes the kick. It's going to be a high pooch kick, so Hutch can't return it. It hits at about the 32-yard line. Contact made, and there's a flurry of action trying to get to the ball, and it will be Hutchinson football. So Hutch is going to have the football. It's going to be at about their own 27 or 28-yard line where they'll mark it. So that was a nice little pooch kick over there.
Yeah, he found an open spot, and the ball actually hit the turf and bounced. You hate to see that happen if you're the receiving team.
1st and 10 for the Salt Hawks. They'll mark it at the 27-yard line officially. So 1st and 10 from that mark, trailing 14-0. So Hutch getting their signals from the sideline, and now they get set. Man in motion, the pitch on the outside. It's Hogan trying to turn it around on the left side this time. He's at the 30, and he knocked out of bounds at about the 31. Pickup of 3 on the play. It'll be a 2nd down situation, 2nd and 6. We'll give him 4. Ball at about the 31-yard line.
Zach Hogan with about 20 yards rushing so far in this game and 33 yards catching passes. He has been the main offensive weapon for the Salt Hawks so far.
Again, Noah Kokar up under center. Wideouts left and right. Twins set on that right side. The giveaway to Hippen. He hits the hole hard. He picks up a couple yards. And Hippen stretches it a little bit. 3rd down, and we're going to say about 4 to go for the 1st down. Ball's on the 34-yard line. 3rd and 3 officially. Salt Hawks trailing 14-0. Derby, quick hitter on a 1-yard plunge in the first quarter of action, and then the 41-yard nice pass for the 2nd score. From Thatcher to Brown. Kokar down under center. Wants to throw the ball on the outside. The catch is made by Hogan and can't get it across the 35. He's pushed back. Might have picked up about a yard on the play. It's going to be 4th down in a punting situation. 4th and about 2.
You know, this is going to sound a little bit crazy, Glenn, but when you're facing a team like Derby that no one has been able to stop all season, you're kind of tempted to just go for it on 4th down if you're...
Yeah, I would say they're at the 35. I think if they were at the 45, Coach might think about that, but not the case maybe at the 35-yard line, but you never know.
I wouldn't mind seeing Noah Kokar, the quarterback/punter. I wouldn't mind seeing him taking off and seeing if he can pick up that 3 yards.
Usually he takes 3 or 4 steps to kick anyway, but you're right. There comes the rush, though, and he gets the punt away. It's going to be driven back. Back deep was Edwards, but he'll stay away from it. Takes a nice Hutch bounce all the way down to the 29-yard line.
Good punt.
And that's where they will take over. And Derby will have the football. So a flag on the play, though, back at about the 46. What do we have? If it's a roughing the passer, I didn't watch. I watched the punt rather than the pursuit. It could be an automatic 1st down for Hutchinson. Let's check it. It's going to be a hold against Derby.
But I think that's after the punt.
That's after the punt, so it'll be assessed on the punt. Thank you, Dan. So that's what that call is going to be. Hutch Trandy 7, Marion nothing. 2nd quarter score. Inman 12, Plainville nothing. We got a bet at the studio on the morning show about that score, if that'll remain goose eggs for Inman, because they pitch shutouts all season long, but they're playing Plainville. We'll see what happens there. It's going to mark it all the way back to the 18. That's where Derby will set up shop. And Hayes 28 over the Abilene Cowboys 0. 2nd quarter action. Here's a give to Edwards. Shifts to the left side. Has some speed. Gets outside. Has the 1st down and more. All the way out to about the 44-yard line. Great run by Edwards. That'll be from the 18 to the 44. Great pickup. Well, once he gets the corner turn, you can just see him speed up. Now, Hackney's going to have to check out of the game because his helmet came off.
He saved the touchdown on that open field tackle, though, because Dylan Edwards, he has been picking up 80-yard touchdown runs right and left this season.
His mom refers to him as handsome, and he is a handsome young man. There's a little screen bubble pass, successful for Derby all the way into Salt Hawk territory. They'll mark it at the 42, and that worked superbly for the Derby offense there. Just that bubble route on that left side. Basically, it's a screen pass that's set up, and Brown again gets positive yardage all the way up to the 43 of Hutchinson. So 1st and 10 now. And a flag on the play on the far side.
False start. I think it might have been by the wide receiver on the Derby side of the field. I think that was Brown that maybe flinched from his wide receiver position.
So we'll back it up. It'll remain first down. They're going to mark it at the 48. Hutchinson's 48. Again, if you're listening on KWBW, either by way of stream or by way of on our local airways, you can watch it as well. Just go to hutchpost.com, click on sports, and it'll take you to the tab. There's a give straight up ahead. Running Edwards has some room across the 40 inside of Salt Hawk territory. They'll mark it officially at right around the 38-yard line.
Derby goes with up-tempo offense. They look to the sideline, get the play. Everybody hustles up to the line of scrimmage, and they can wear a defense out.
Second down and 6 from the 38 now for the Derby Panthers. Got some size up front. Speed in that backfield. They're a good team. Here the give to Edwards again, left side, lots of room. He's across the 20 to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown from 38 yards out. Edwards dives into the end zone. It's good for 6, and then all of a sudden it is 20-0. Derby with the lead here with 7:21 to go, second quarter action. Boy, he had a hole to run through, and he went right down the sidelines, and nobody was there.
He's fast. He's a good player.
That flat was a really pretty run by Edwards. And it's 3 touchdowns on the board right now for Derby. 20-0.
It was well blocked, too. He really didn't have anybody touch him en route to the end zone.
Simmons' kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And Simmons puts it through the uprights. That's Scott Simmons. He's a senior as well. And it's 3 touchdowns on the board, plus 3 extra points. It's 21-0. Derby with the lead over the Salt Hawks. We'll be back with the Derby kickoff in 30 seconds.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com, a CRH company.
Welcome back to Gallman Stadium. It's 7:21 to go, second quarter of action. It's 21-0, Derby with the lead. And Derby Panthers are looking pretty sharp out there right now, Dan Nacarado, and take nothing away from the Hudson defense. Those are just really good athletes. They're blocking 4 really good athletes.
Hutchinson has a very good football program. Hutchinson High School Salt Hawks, a good football program. Derby is just playing extremely impressive.
So Derby's going to kick off. Now, the last time they pooch kicked it, which ended up being just a short kick, a little flurry for the ball as it popped loose from a Hutchinson receiver. But let's see where Simmons places this one.
Left-footed kicker.
Yeah, he is lefty. Here comes the approach. He'll pooch it again, but a little bit deeper this time. It's going to be taken right at the 25-yard line. And it'll be fair caught out there, and it will be Nolan Cunningham that covered up on it.
Probably a wise decision just to fair catch it because it was high in the air. It's one of those that if you try to field it and run with it, the cover team is right on top of you. Nothing wrong with starting a drive on your 25.
That is true. So 1st and 10 from the 25 for Hutchinson. Let's see if they can get some positive things put together. They did earlier with Hogan picking up a couple first downs. Nice pass play from Kokar to Hogan for one of them. Kokar under center now. He turns, he gives it again to Armstrong, and he tries the right side this time. He's toppled forward and picks up a yard on the play to the 26.
Hutchinson trying to go with the misdirection, hoping to get Derby moving one way and then running the ball back the other direction.
Second down and 8 from the 26-yard line, 27-yard line of Hutchinson. Hutch will split a wide out on that left side, and that's going to be Keelan O'Sullivan. Wears number 11 on his jersey. Now he comes in a little tighter in at the hash mark.
Kellen's a pretty good basketball player as well.
Well, that time will be, matter of fact, junior college started practice today as The Blue Dragons were in action on a practice. Their drive forward and picks up positive yardage. I think it was Hippen on the carry. To about the 29-yard line, a little past that. They'll mark it right at the 29, actually, and it'll be a 3rd down and 5. So a manageable 3rd down and 5 for Hutchinson.
3rd down and 5 for the Salt Hawks.
That flexbone offense, always known, Dan, for picking up 5 and 6 yards on a carry. See if they can convert it here. Kokar looks at that defense. 4-man front right now, 5-man front for Derby. Back to pass. He wants to throw for it. He gets drilled. The ball is incomplete. It came off the face mask of a Derby player, but boy, Kokar was driven back into next week by a Derby player, and he gets up. He'll be okay, but a 4th down and 5 situation facing Hutchinson.
The defensive back for Derby, Caden Rojas, he was focused on Zach Hogan, the receiver. The ball was just a little bit overthrown, and it hit Rojas right in the top of the helmet, bounced way up in the air.
I feared it to be intercepted. It bounced up so high, but that was not the case, and it hit him in a bad spot right between the eyes, huh?
It almost got stuck in his face mask.
Here's the kick. Kokar gets it away. Nice toe on that one. Fair catch call for it. They'll let it bounce, and it'll bounce and take a Hutchinson bounce to the 45-yard line, and 1 more yard out of bounds at the 44. So Hutch will set up shop, 1st and 10. That Derby will set up shop, 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line. 21-0. Hutchinson trailing Derby. Derby with another possession, 5:45 to go in this second quarter play. Hey, not this next weekend, but on the 15th, the weekend of the 15th, Sterling College putting on Newsies. And our own Bryson Brownlee is in that production that is running the board for on the BW side tonight. Newsies,
fantastic.
One of my favorite shows ever, and I can't wait to try to get over there and see it over at Sterling College. Outstanding.
Bryson's multi-talented.
1st and 10 for the Derby Panthers. The turn to give to Edwards again. He'll knife to the left side, has some room, has the 1st down and more. He's at the 40 and falls forward all the way. Ball loose. Hutch thinks they have it. Let's see what the call is going to be. And they're going to have to sort it out. Hutchinson coming out acting like they do have it, but let's see what the official call from the official is going to be, as Edwards is down on the turf at the 39. Coach Clark on the far side awaiting the discussion as well. And I think they're going to say it will be.
The officials never really made a clear
No, they did not.
indication.
And everybody's acting like it's Derby's football. Newquist came out of the pile like as though it was Hutchinson's. So a foul. There's going to be a foul on the play.
Good news, bad news. Bad news is Hutchinson is not awarded the ball. It was ruled dead when it came out. The good news is that gain is coming way back due to a penalty.
Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 35-yard line. Newquist still talking with the official, as is Hackney, about the call. And Hutchinson thought they had picked up the fumble, but not the case. 1st down and 19 now for Derby at its own 35-yard line.
So erase the 20-yard gain and instead move it back 9 yards.
Back to give the keeper by Thatcher around that left side. He has the 1st down and 1 more yard up to the 45 for the 1st down.
No, that's just making it to the original line of scrimmage.
That's right. You're correct. I was looking at the wrong.
It's easy to do.
It's wrong. Well, we don't have the real pretty ones that the college has that they light up and tell you.
That's right. Yeah, those are pretty cool.
2nd down
sticks.
and 9.
Blue Dragon football has pretty impressive gear.
Snap back to Thatcher. Looks in the pocket. And then when he throws it, incomplete. Had a receiver out there. Hackney gave a little bump to Edwards, the intended receiver. Incomplete pass.
Nice job by Devin Hackney, because it's hard to cover the tailback coming out of the backfield into the pass pattern. Hackney saw him all the way.
Grandma Sophie jumping up and down right now down in Texas. I can tell you, she watches on the stream each and every week. One of our biggest fans. And again, going through some hard times right now with the loss of his son. Well, our thoughts and prayers are with you, Grandma. Here's a turn to give again on the right side. It's Edwards. He's off and running across the 50, 45, down to the 40, and tackled right there by the Salt Hawks as Hunter comes up and puts the hit on him right at the 40-yard line. But that'll move the chains, Dan.
It did. We mentioned in the pregame that the Hawk linebacker, Noah Ragoza, is out tonight with a leg injury, and he'll probably be out for another game or two. Those high ankle sprains take a while to heal. So that Hutchinson defense is missing Noah Ragoza tonight.
4.5 to go in the second quarter of play. Give to Edwards, straight ahead running, picks up 7 yards, 8 yards hard. Brings up a second down and short situation. Score in Salina Central 18, Arc City 7. And another
Arc
one.
City beat Mays last week.
Dodge City 14, Great Bend 7, second quarter of action. Here, what do we have? Second down and 3 from the 33.
Have an official's timeout for something.
So, second down and 3. Official stop play as the equipment.
I checked into
fixed.
that Arc City win over Mays last Friday night, and it was just a good game by Arc City.
Well, right now they're trailing Salina Central, so interesting. Here, the give to Edwards. He angles to the right side, has the first down and more, all the way down to about the 24-yard line.
Right now, the Salt Hawk defense just not able to fill all the gaps. And Derby is getting into the open field almost every snap.
First and 10 for the Derby Panthers. They lead by 3 touchdowns, 21-0 here in the second quarter play at the 3:30 mark. Thatcher, the quarterback, to give to Edwards. Goes around the left side. Big holes over there again. He's at the 15, short of the first down, but only about a couple yards short. It'll bring up a second down and short situation. Dan, they're getting huge yardages on their first and second downs.
Well, that huge Derby offensive line right now is driving Hutchinson backwards on every snap in this second quarter.
Second down and 2. Ball on the 15 for Hutchinson. Derby with the football. Thatcher keeps it. He's on that left side. Plenty of room to run. He's finally tackled at about the 12, or actually about the 6-yard line. Should bring, Hackney got the tackle over there. Should bring up a first and goal situation for Derby.
As a quarterback, as a running back, you pretty much love a situation where no one really can test you until you're already 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
First and goal from the 7-yard line. Straight ahead running. Close to the goal line, and Thatcher, the quarterback, is he short? Yes, he is, by a yard. So it'll be second down and goal from the 1.
This drive started on the Derby 45 3 minutes ago.
They'll set this ball on the right hash mark. Not that that's made any difference
the
tonight.
tip of the ball is almost on the goal line.
Thatcher, the quarterback, he'll keep it. He goes across, and he gets in for the end zone for the touchdown. Mercer Thatcher with the score. 2:15 to go in quarter number 2. It is 27-0. All Derby. The Derby Panthers lead the Salt Hawks of Hutchinson. This Derby Panther team really a good one. And they've driven up and down the field, just big chunks of yardage at a time. Simmons will try the point after. The hold is good. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. So your score with 2:15 to go in quarter number 2. Derby 28, Salt Hawks nothing. Hutch awaits the Derby kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salt Hawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. 2:15 to go in the second quarter of play. And Coach Knack, 28-0. Derby flexing his muscles, showing what they can do in that left side. They got to plug some holes over there, big gapping holes. And Edwards a good running back, but once he gets in that secondary, he's gone as well.
It was an impressive second quarter, especially for Derby. The score was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Derby with 21 unanswered points in the second quarter.
So Derby will kick off. Twice they pooch kicked it. Once was just about fumbled away. Join Darren Dunn and myself on Country 102.9 tomorrow night for football from Garden City.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
It's the Broncbusters versus the Blue Dragons. Here comes the Pooch kid again, and it's going to hit. And down by a Derby player. And I think that's going to be Derby football. Yes, it is. It bounced, and Derby was able to play it. Hutchinson maybe mentally thinking, hey, it's just going to be a touchback. Not the case.
Well, that's the second kickoff that Hutchinson is allowed to just bounce on the turf. One of those high Pooch kicks. That one landed between the 35 and the 40-yard line, and no Hutchinson player went to go get it.
So it will be Derby's football. 1st and 10 at the 37. Mays South 27, Newton 7. Second quarter play. So Mays South again flexing their muscles in the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League.
Mays South, one of the few undefeated teams remaining in 5A.
So Thatcher, the quarterback, sends a man in motion. That's his brother. Another Thatcher to give to Edwards around the left side. Has some room across the 30. Stretches to about the, he'll mark his knee right at the 30-yard line. So a game of about 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3.
That big offensive line for Derby. Again, we went through 290, 290, 280. And not only are they big, they're pretty agile.
So 2nd down and 2 to go now for the first down. Man in motion again for the Derby Panthers. Back to pass. Thatcher looks left. Off the screen. First down is caught. Down goes Brown all the way down. He's still moving. Down to about the 14-yard line. It'll move the chains for another Derby first down.
In this second quarter, Derby is offensively just pretty much able to do whatever they want. It was kind of like last week, Hutchinson in the third quarter offensively did pretty much whatever they wanted against Newton. Derby is having that kind of success tonight in the second quarter.
Balls on the 14-yard lines. 1st and 10 on the Hutch 14. Thatcher, the quarterback, takes it all the way down to the 5-yard line as he looked like he was still going to option it, but did not. He kept it.
There was a Salt Hawk that almost climbed on board for a piggyback ride for about 6 yards.
And he'll mark it right at the 7. So again, a 2nd down, and we'll call it long 2 to go for the first down. Give to Edwards. Starts to dance outside, finds an angle, and cuts inside the 5 down to about the 3-yard line. That'll be a first down. So a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line now for the Derby Panthers. And with 47 seconds to go before intermission, they're just moving the football, trying to go up by a 35-0 score. Right now it's 28-zip. Derby with the lead. Thatcher, the quarterback, pitches out to Edwards, and he reverses, and then he's caught by a bunch of Salt Hawks. Cunningham came up and made him turn inside. And now with 30 seconds left on the clock, a timeout's going to be taken by the Derby Panthers. And we'll take a half-minute break as well. Your score, Derby 28, Hutchinson nothing. We'll be back with the last 30 seconds of this first half of play right after this 30-second timeout.
Cody Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salt Hawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424, or visit codysmith.law. That's .L-A-W. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Go Salt Hawks.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. 30 seconds remaining to go before intermission. 28-0. Derby with the lead. And it's been all Derby.
That overpowering offensive line of Derby taking control of this second quarter. When the offensive line is pushing the defense backwards and you have the type of running backs that Derby has in the backfield, they are going to pick up yards and score points.
2nd and goal from the 6. Straight ahead running by Edwards, dives forward, gets to about the 2-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and goal.
Derby has one timeout still in their pocket.
And the clock's moving away down to 15-14. See what they're actually going to...
Yeah, Derby's going to have to take that timeout. So
they will.
It took a long time for the officials to get the ball spotted, and now a flag just came out. Derby was frustrated because Hutchinson was not giving the officials the opportunity to spot the ball.
So a timeout's going to be taken. We're going to keep it here with 9 seconds remaining because we're shortly going to be going. I want to remind everybody that pretty cool things happen in this next week, as at the next home game, Salt Hawk Football is hosting a food drive for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Hutchinson. 2 years ago, Salt Hawk Football fans donated 700 pounds of food to the Boys and Girls Club. This year, Salt Hawk Football is asking fans to do the same. For every 5 items donated at next week's home game, fans receive a free football rally towel, compliments of Bogies. I'm going to give me one of those. A Bogies rally towel.
That'd be fun.
Sounds pretty good. Check the Salt Hawk Football Facebook page for more information. Again, Salt Hawk Football is proud to partner with Boys and Girls Club to make our communities stronger together. And I would love to have myself a Bogies rally towel. And that'll be a big game against Salina South. So now, back to live action.
I think they called offsetting penalties on that flag because they did not move the line of scrimmage.
I think you're correct. So it'll be a 3rd down and 3. And now another timeout taken. This time it's by the Salt Hawks as they're a little confused offensively. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. On this one, we will take a timeout. We'll be back with more after this 30-second timeout.
Now Envision Investment Group. Due to the growth of the investment and client relations team, they have a new location to better serve you. 15 Compound Drive in Hutchinson. Stay tuned for an open house. Time and date to be announced soon. We understand there have been many changes, so please feel free to reach us at 669-8291. Check for updates at envisionig.com. Envision Investment Group, your future is our focus. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Well, 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and goal from the 3-yard line for the Derby Panthers, and we're having a little tic-tac-toe, so to speak, with the coaches calling timeouts versus each other. But right now, Hutchinson wanted to talk and see what all they were going to do and try to stop Derby right here. This would be a big touchdown for Derby.
Derby does not have any timeouts, so they almost have to get it in the end zone on this snap or the second quarter will expire.
Thatcher, the quarterback, wants to throw the football in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. His brother, the other Thatcher on the
incomplete
roster
pass
to Drake Thatcher, ends up being incomplete.
So that does give Derby one more snap.
Yep, it does give him one more try with 4th down, and we're going to say 4th down and goal from the 3.
So do you kick the field goal, or do you go ahead and try to score
You're up
another
by 4 touchdowns. You know, if they go ahead and go for the touchdown, you can't blame them. It's not like it's a close game where you go up, 10-0 at halftime. This would make it, 35-0. So they're going to go ahead and go for it. Thatcher sets in motion. Now the quarterback, Thatcher, keeps it around the left side, has some room, trying to knife forward. He's into the end zone, I believe. Yes, he's in from 3 yards out, and that will be Mercer Thatcher with a touchdown just as time runs off the clock. So they'll try the extra point, and both teams will go to the dressing room on homecoming here of 2021. Tough break right there, but a nice run by Thatcher into the end zone.
That was a little bit of a gift to Derby from Hutchinson in that they did not field the kickoff. They just let the ball bounce. Derby recovered it.
Here's the kick. It's up and on its way, and it is good. And as they head to the locker rooms at halftime, 35-0. All Derby in this first half of play. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, add up all the numbers, get set for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castle, again at 14th and Main. We'll be back with more from Gowan Stadium in 2 minutes.
Now through December 7th is your annual Medicare D sign-up period. The Hutch Medicine Shop once again is the one and only place you need to consider to help get your best plan. Throw away any literature you receive in the mail and don't be misled by TV ads. If you want to get your meds local and get the best prices, come to the Medicine Shop. We'll input your drug list and find your best plan. Medicare D sign-up is now at the Hutch Medicine Shop in Midtown.
Your choices at Prairie Star Health Center just keep getting better. Dr. Cecilia Hinton has joined our exceptional staff and invites you to rely on her as your primary care provider for your health and wellness concerns.
and she'll be right there with you to address any chronic diseases, aggravating pain, or other issues. Dr. Hinton knows it's all about you at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Let's get those taxes done. At H&R Block, we can file your return by October 15th, no matter where you filed your extension. Avoid a late filing penalty and get every credit and deduction you're entitled to. Drop in and stay, or drop off and go. Or call 662-5321 to make an appointment today. At H&R Block, Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
We are at halftime, and it's going to be a little longer than halftime because they're doing the Davis Teacher of Year recognition, plus then the marching band is going to perform. But it's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule, and this has been all Derby in this first half of play. 35-0 Derby with the lead. And Dan, you look at that first quarter, 3:52 to go. Okay, Drake Thatcher takes it in from 1 yard out, and 7-0 Derby with the lead after the Simmons kick was good. Second quarter play midway through, 7:21 to go in the second quarter, and again it's a Dylan Edwards touchdown run from 38 yards out. On 4 plays, 72 yards was the drive, and it was 14-0. And further down in the second quarter, 3 touchdowns in the second quarter long. It was a Mercer Thatcher keeper for the touchdown with 2:15 on the drive, nice 9-play, 56-yard drive, 21-0. And then just right before halftime, it was another Mercer Thatcher touchdown. Thatcher took it in from 3 yards out to make it basically 28-0, and then the touchdown just took place a little while ago again with Thatcher getting into the end zone. It's 35-0. It's been all Derby in the first half of play. Don't look at it any one way or another.
Well, there's no other way to put it. That's just the facts of this football game on this Friday night in Hutchinson, Kansas. Derby picked up 292 yards of offense in that first half compared to just 67 yards for Hutchinson. Leading rusher, as we expected for Derby, Dylan Edwards picked up 143 yards on 14 carries. He has a touchdown to his credit. Mercer Thatcher picked up 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Drake Thatcher scored a touchdown on the 1-yard plunge late in the first quarter. Thatcher 3 of 6. That's Mercer Thatcher, the quarterback, 3 of 6 for 67 yards and a touchdown. Caden Brown caught a touchdown pass from 41 yards out that was a beautiful strike over the shoulder, hit him right in stride. For Hutchinson, just 67 yards of total offense in that first half, 18 yards gained by Zach Hogan on the ground, and he also has 34 yards receiving, so probably you'd have to say the bright spot offensively for Hutchinson would be Zach Hogan's performance. Defensively, the young man who lost his father to an illness, Devin Hackney, has 8 tackles in this first half of action, and he is playing some inspired football tonight with a heavy heart.
That is the Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main, the Medicine Shop. Pharmaceuticals needs, if you're needing or new to Hutchinson and looking for a pharmacy, the Medicine Shop I highly recommend. Number one, just good folks in there and gave you great service. It's we talk about the Little White Castle. It's a really small little place, but you can find some great deals in there. Over-the-counter products, great gift cards. They deliver. What else can I say about the Medicine Shop other than it really gives you some good service, the Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. 2-minute timeout coming your way. We'll come back and talk more about what's happening next Saturday with the Boys and Girls Club food donation drive and also Blackout Night. I'll explain that to you in just a little bit. It'll be the last home game for Hutchinson in the regular season as they take on Salina South. But it's going to be a lot going on here. We'll give you some score updates from around the state of Kansas as well at halftime. Again, at halftime here, 35-0 Derby with the lead. We'll be back with more right after this 2-minute timeout.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Need a pharmacy you can rely on? One where they focus on learning your name and your needs? Being the best pharmacy possible, having a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and stocking the products you need is what Ashcraft Pharmacy is all about. Whether it is dry skin, a cough, or runny nose, aches and pains, or something that requires prescription medications, you can count on Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson. Stop in, call, pick up curbside, or we'll be happy to deliver. Ashcraft Pharmacy, Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Welcome back to Hutchinson, Kansas, to Gowan Stadium. It's 35-0. All right, now Derby with the lead over the Salthawks of Hutchinson. A couple of people have inquired how to get a hold of the stream. You just go to hutchpost.com and go to the sports tab, and you'll go down and you'll find the story about the game, and then just click on the right there. It'll take you to the YouTube page, or if you're on Facebook, you can just go to Salthawk Sports Network on Facebook, and that's how you get to it. So anyway, hopefully they'll be able to get caught up for it.
Good, crisp, high-definition pictures.
And I've been told again that the speakers are very scratchy here in Gowan Stadium. Sir, you want to run down to the PA and say that some people are saying it? It's the field, the White Hats microphone is what we're trying to say. So not our department up here. So, Dan, what's Hutchinson talking about in halftime right now?
Well, when you're down 35-0 at halftime and it's homecoming, you just want to try to find some positives to focus on. Sometimes in a game like this, you actually look at the windshield being bigger than the rearview mirror. It does no good to look back at what happened in the first and second quarters. You've just got to step up and control the line of scrimmage a little bit better than what happened in that first half of action. Offensively, Derby is controlling the line of scrimmage, and defensively, Derby is controlling the line of scrimmage. So you want to get just a little bit more fight in you, and that's what Hutchinson has been working on in their practices. Their practices have been very spirited. Coach Vernon is having some fun with a third and long period in practice where if the defense wins, the offense runs, and that includes the offensive coaches. If the offense wins, the defense runs, including the defensive coaches. So it makes for some fun times and very competitive atmosphere in practice, and you just want to have that show up in the second half of action tonight.
And perhaps that's what they're going to be talking about, is just to take advantage of the situation. And they got to fill some gaps. There's been too many, in my opinion, first down, big yard situations for Derby. Hey, take nothing away from them, but that's been a big situation where they've been able to really pick up big yardage and face then a second down and short, and they're able to make a lot of different call plays in that situation. Take another 2-minute timeout as you see the Salthawk band out on the field if you're watching on the stream, and the color guard, and as well as also the dance line coming in now to perform. as this is, again, a longer halftime. They're getting set for the Queen announcements coming your way in just a little bit. So let's take a quick 2-minute timeout. We'll be back with more from Gowan Stadium. 35-0 at halftime. Derby on top. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com. A CRH company.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Cody Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salthawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424 or visit codysmith.law. That's .L-A-W. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Go Salthawks.
All Vader Jackson financial advisors are now Envision Investment Group. Due to the growth of the investment and client relations team, they have a new location to better serve you. 15 Compound Drive in Hutchinson. Stay tuned for an open house. Time and date to be announced soon. We understand there have been many changes, so please feel free to reach us at 669-8291. Check for updates at envisionig.com. Envision Investment Group, your future is our focus. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Welcome back in halftime. 35-0, Derby all over the Salthawks at halftime here. Again, the dance line performing down on the floor here at Gowan Stadium, the turf. And I'm going to look at some other scores. Salina Central 32, Arc City 7 at halftime. It's Horton 14, Central Heights 7. Other games close around this area of interest. Hayes 42, Abilene nothing. On some of the other scores that are taking place throughout the state of Kansas on this Friday night. Don't forget to stay tuned. Coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes will be Nick Gosnell with the scoreboard show as well that'll be taking place. You got Derby here on top. Hutch 35-0 at halftime. Chaparral and Garden Plain 20 for Chaparral, and Garden Plain 7. Some other scores to look at. Wamego 7, Paola 7. Those are both really good scores as the Queen candidates are now being introduced down on the field. And Smith Center 28, Oakley nothing. And matter of fact, a lot of people are looking forward to that Inman-Smith Center lineup matchup that might come a little bit later. Scott City 0, Russell 0. That's at halftime. Dodge 14, Great Bend 7. Tell you what, Coach O'Neill out in Dodge City's done a really good job. Good hire. A lot of times they say, does the coach make that much difference? Dan, I think a coach does.
Absolutely.
Make that much difference. And out in Dodge City, they're getting it done out there. Mays, second quarter score, Mays South 27, Newton 7, and Manhattan 14, Seaman 7. Washburn Rural 38, Emporia nothing. Those are some scores of interest that we'll take a look at, Dan, once we get into next week as Salina South comes to town. Then we travel to Mays. We have a road trip to Mays, and we also have a road trip to do battle against Campus as we close out the season with 2 road trips after next week's home game against Salina South.
Yeah, that's the way this year's schedule panned out. 2 home games, 2 road games, 2 home games, and 2 road games. That gives you your 8 regularly scheduled games, and then it gets into the playoff matchups. You know, there's not very many undefeated teams left around the state. In 6A, Blue Valley Northwest, Manhattan, and Derby, the only undefeated teams. In 5A, Spring Hill, Mill Valley, Mays South, and Capon. And it appears that Mays South Manhattan, Derby, Capon, all on their way to remaining undefeated after tonight.
Want to remind everybody, I mentioned Blackout next week is going to be joining us for the last home game of the regular season next Friday against Salina South. Now, that doesn't mean we won't have another home game possibly in the playoffs, but right now of the regular season, next week will be the last one. It's a packed evening with senior night happening and the Boys and Girls Club food drive, and the Blackout also wear black. So next Friday, don't forget to bring canned goods to donate and a dress in black while we celebrate the seniors in the last home game of this regular season, which to me has just flown by. Here we are 2-2, taking on an undefeated Derby team. But we're in first part of October. It's crisp night air. The rod runs in town. Lots of stuff going on. We got some alumni that came back, and that's why they call it homecoming, right? People come back home after graduating, and some are here tonight, and now they're having a queen announced as well. And you're going to get that indication of who it is?
Yes. So the candidates for queen tonight were Amelia Anchis, Gracie Foster, Caitlin Yoder, Ruby Rodriguez-Rivas, Stella Foster, and Ainsley Trunk-Hill has been crowned the queen.
All righty, and she's getting her hugs down there, and Dad just steps back and takes it all in, if you've ever been in that situation. So congratulations to her. So homecoming this evening here at Gowan Stadium, and the marching band at halftime again of a 35-0 score at halftime. Derby all over the Salt Hawks. We're going to take another two-minute timeout, come back and run down some more scores in the state of Kansas. Again, we'll be back with more coming your way with second half action just around the corner right after this two-minute timeout.
Now through December 7th is your annual Medicare D sign-up period. The Hutch Medicine Shop once again is the one and only place you need to consider to help get your best plan. Throw away any literature you receive in the mail, and don't be misled by TV ads. If you want to get your meds local and get the best prices, come to the Medicine Shop. We'll input your drug list and find your best plan. Medicare D sign-up is now at the Hutch Medicine Shop in Midtown.
Your choices at Prairie Star Health Center just keep getting better. Dr. Cecilia Hinton has joined our exceptional staff and invites you to rely on her as your primary care provider for your health and wellness concerns. And she'll be right there with you to address any chronic diseases, aggravating pain, or other issues. Dr. Hinton knows it's all about you at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Let's get those taxes done. At H&R Block, we can file your return by October 15th, no matter where you filed your extension. Avoid a late filing penalty and get every credit and deduction you're entitled to. Drop in and stay, or drop off and go. Or call 662-5321 to make an appointment today. At H&R Block, Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back. Second half just a few minutes away from starting here. 35-0. Salt Hawks on the wrong end. Derby looking good in the first half of score. What was the score last year?
Well, last year the game got called off because Derby had COVID issues.
So the year before, you're right, I was walking on that one.
So you go back to 2019, Derby won that game 56-7, and in 2018 it was Derby 63-0. So Derby has just really had it clicking on all cylinders.
Well, they have had it, and it's a situation where, number one, it's a very good school system down there. A lot of times they get some kids from Wichita that don't want to maybe go to the school that's within their district, and they're able to transfer down there. Also, economy-wise, Derby's doing very well, so that draws families to live in Derby. It's a very nice location, much like Mays. It's a nice location, and like Hutchinson too. Different situation though when you're in a metroplex, so to speak. Good school system, draws good players to be able to go there. They want to play for Coach Clark. He's proven that, and I think more than anything, the industry down there allows families to move in and have good ball players. Basically, that's it.
And we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. It's the fourth largest high school in the state of Kansas, 2,147 students.
So you got more to draw from. By way of athletics.
That's about 900 more students, 800 more students than what Hutchinson High School has.
On Monday, Hutchinson JV and freshmen combined for one team to take on Newton and won 46-0. I always like to look at those scores, Dan, to see what's coming up in the underclassmen comparatively when they all become seniors and juniors and are all put together on varsity. Be interesting to see this coming Monday how Derby and the JVs and the freshmen pair out.
And it's been cyclical. When you look back, Hutchinson and Derby first played each other in 1965, but then they went quite a number of years where they did not face each other. But Derby had it really rolling well back in the 1990s. And then Hutchinson got going in the 2000s up until about 2012 or 13. And since that time, Derby has taken command. But last year, Hutchinson did win the league, the AVCTL Division I.
Yep, sure did.
Hutchinson ended up the season 8-2 and had just a remarkable season, winning a lot of close games that we had a lot of fun watching Salt Hawk football. We always do. We're having a lot of fun watching them this year.
You betcha. Salina Central 32, Arc City 7. Also Cimarron all over Syracuse 60-0 way out west. Hayes 42, Abilene 0. Chapman on the wrong end of a 16-6. Well, actually they're tied at 16-all now with Riley County, so I was wrong on that one. A couple other scores to pass on. Silver Lake 35, Mission Valley 0. And some other games closer around here, still looking for that Inman game. They were on top of Plainville leading it. Oh, that'll come up. It'll pop up again, but they were shutting them out again, which would be, I think, the fifth straight shutout that the Inman Teutons would have had. So everybody's kind of getting excited about them over there. TMP 14, Ellis 0. That's outside of Hayes. La Crosse 36, Maxville 28. That's a good game going on. Garden City 21, Liberal 0. That's a good Garden City team. They went and beat Hayes last week, and they're kind of off and running.
They'll be 4-1. They'll have 4 consecutive wins after tonight's game. They dropped their season opener to Manhattan in a game that got delayed about 90 minutes due to lightning. And Manhattan
won over us in overtime.
That's right. Manhattan has a very good team, and obviously Garden City is pretty tough.
Cheney 27, Pratt 6. Pratt with a pretty good ball club, and that's a really good ball club at Cheney, so that's interesting. Little River 30, Canton Galva 26. That's a surprise. And as Sarah was mentioning about Little River being pretty good, Canton Galva we know is pretty good. And right there, a 4-point lead in the third quarter now for them. Lions 22, Sterling 6. Sorry, Bryson. Sterling on the wrong end of that score. Bryson Brownlee, our board op from Sterling area, goes to Sterling College. And right now they're trailing in the third quarter play. Here it will be Hutchinson kicking off as they won the toss and preferred to get the football first, and now they'll have to kick off to Derby in the second half of play. Let's see if they can get them stopped or not. Runyon will toe up the football.
Tayson Runyon, the freshman, doing the kicking duties for Hutchinson, and he's handled them very well.
He takes that two-step approach to the side and will come with the soccer-style kick. Derby has 2 up backs, set at the 5 to receive. High end over end kick, and it's going to be taken out about the 17-yard line, turned upfield, trying to get to the outside. And on the outer perimeter over there is going to be Derek Hubbard, the return man, and he carries it around the corner for a pickup of a couple yards. Let's see where they mark it officially. Looks to me like it's going to be right at about the 27, 28-yard line.
Stephon Hunter made a nice tackle over by the sideline, stopping that return.
So here we go, 35-0, Derby with the lead, just underway in this third period of play, and we'll see how long Hatcher and company stay in the ball game.
Wouldn't be surprised if we only see a couple series out of the
starters.
There
he gives to Edwards, straight ahead running again. Edwards turns his legs up to about the 29-yard line, pickup of 3 on the play, 2nd down and 7.
Ben Patterson made the solo tackle.
2nd and 7 now. Again, still out there is Edwards, who's really a good running back. And you've got Brown out there at the receiver spot. Thatcher, the quarterback. He barks the signals. He'll give the end around to Brown. Brown turns the corner on the right side at the 30, 35, up to the 40, 45, 50, trying to get knocked out of bounds, and finally will be, and not he trying, but Hutch was trying to get to him and knock and mark it at about the 38-yard line out of bounds. So a great return.
35
a flag
yards.
on the play, however, Dan, over at about the 47-yard line. Let's see what we have. Might have been a block in the back. Might have been a hold.
Would have been a 35-yard gain on the misdirection end around.
Illegal block in the back against Derby. Let's see if it's from the spot of the infraction or not. I thought he got open pretty easily around that right side, and down that sidelines he went.
He's a long strider. Looked like a track athlete going around that end.
Brown is a senior, 6'4", 165. Again, Caden Brown shows some speed, and now when he certainly did, they're going to mark it at the 43-yard line. So first and 10 for Derby from their own 43. Thatcher gives to Edwards this time, trying to go on the right side, and gets by a couple defenders, picks up the first down. They'll mark it inside of Salt Hawk territory at the 46.
Dylan Edwards' dad, Leon Edwards, played at Kansas State about 20 years ago.
And he was a good one.
He was.
And his son's showing some poise there. He sets up on the left side of the hip of Thatcher now in the shotgun. Thatcher will keep it. A run from the very get-go, and they'll seal off the edge. And finally coming up, Hunter comes in to make first contact, and only a pickup of about a yard and a half on the play. Gang tackling, nice job by a lot of blue jerseys out there.
A lot of Hutchinson Salthawks converged on Thatcher. Held him to about a 3 or 4 yard gain.
Landon Dixon out there, also out there, Braden Rodriguez. So it brings up a second down and 6 from the 42. Hutchinson's own 42-yard line. Derby on the run.
Dylan Garrett getting lots of action at the linebacker position tonight. Again, Noah Ragoza out with an injury.
Second down and 7. They'll fake it. Now they give it to Edwards, and he dies off one tackle trying to get forward. Boy, is he quick all the way down to the 26 of Hutchinson. Newquist on the stop by choice because he was the last defender to be back there to get to him, and he finally did. Nice run by Edwards. Boy, his yardage has to be huge tonight. Dan, what was it at halftime? Because he's having a big game. So well over that now. Long pass down the end zone. Catch is made. Touchdown, Derby on a jump pass down in the corner of the end zone on that right side. Boy, what a job done. Who'd they connect that to? I didn't get the indication as to who caught the football, but...
Was it Trayvon Rose,
I think 8? It was.
It was in the far corner of the end zone. I thought it might have been number 8, but I'm not 100% sure.
Edwards was out there, but we'll find out who it was. There's a point after kick is up, and it is good. So right away, 42-0. Derby with the lead, 10:07 to go in the third quarter play. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. Derby gets set to kick off, leading it 42-0.
Leading it 42-0.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
42-0 on the long pass play, a 42-yard pass play by Derby. As again, he got the long pass play in the deep right side of the end zone. It was just a jump to see who came up with it, and Derby was able to get the score from 42 yards out. And it's going to be Rose with the catch. Trevon Rose, he's a junior. Did a nice job of catching the ball out there. Well thrown ball by Thatcher. So here we get set for Simmons kickoff, and 10:07 to go. Third quarter play. It's been all Derby. 42-0. Here's the kick, high end over end kick, taken out about the 2-yard line by the Salt Hawks. They try to turn it upfield. That's Kokar, and he gets across the 15. He's dropped there. So a return of about 12 or 13 yards by Kokar, and here comes the offense back out. And Derby in control right now, leading at 42-0. Hutchinson next week, it's blackout week. Wear black, bring lots of canned goods for the boys and girls food drive. Again, 700 pounds back in 2019. It's more than you and I weigh together, Dan.
Well, and hopefully it'll be double that this year.
Mm-hmm. 1st and 10 now for the Salt Hawks from their own 15-yard line. Noah Kokar. Send a man in motion. They'll give it straight ahead running. It's going to be Hippen, the ball carrier. Carries up across the 15 to about the 16-yard line.
This is a point of a football game where you just want to go ahead and work on some things that you can use in future weeks.
We'll have some success.
That's right.
2nd down and 9. Coach Vernon just trying to dot it up to have some success. He's worked on the running game, getting Hippen back there, moving him from a defensive lineman to a fullback or tailback, in that flex bone. Got some speed on the outside with Hogan along with Armstrong. Haven't heard much from Burgess tonight. There's Hogan in motion, gets the pitch on the outside, tries to turn the corner. He's met out there, nothing gained and knocked out of bounds. Just not much to work with on that left side. Hogan tried to turn the corner. It wasn't there. Loss of a yard on the play.
And that is a play that Hutchinson had some success with in the first half, going to the option and the pitch. Noah Kokar does a really impressive job on reading the defense and making accurate pitches on the run, which is a very hard skill to master.
As Malachi Miller split out wide on that right side. Hutchinson with the ball on the left hash mark. 3rd down and 11, ball on the 14. Back to pass, trying to get the pass out there. A similar pass what they had in the first half to Hogan, this time outside of his reach. Ends up being an incomplete pass. It's 4th down and 11, 8:37 to go in this first quarter of second half, third quarter of play in the second half of play. Hutchinson's trying to get something going, and this possession is going to end up punting the football away.
That was exactly the same play that Hutchinson picked up 25 yards on early in the game. You called it exactly right, Glenn. That time Hogan was not quite as open.
Not quite the loft on the ball from Kokar. Here comes the punt. It's going to be shanked on the right side, and it does go out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to mark it. They're going to mark it right at the 36-yard line of Hutchinson. So the Derby offense is going to have a short field to work with. Hutch defense needs to step it up here.
Unfortunately, Hutchinson's keys to victory not happening. Again, Hutchinson wanted to grind out 4 or 5 yards of play, run some clock, go on some sustained drives, and that just has not been the case tonight as that Derby defense has been controlling the line of scrimmage.
Buhler all over Augusta tonight in the third quarter, 35-7. Buhler rolling right along. Many rankings had them as number 1 in 4A. 1st and 10 now for the Derby Panthers. Trying to turn the corner on that far side is going to be Hubbard. New running back in there. Where's number 1? And he picks up positive yardage. Pick up of maybe about 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 to go. Hubbard is a sophomore.
Pretty much new backfield in the game already for Derby with more than 8 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be Brock Zerger, the quarterback. He's a junior, 5'10", 175. Zerger wears number 12. He'll keep it himself, go straight ahead running up to the 10, 5, touchdown Derby from 33 yards out. Zerger no sooner said his name and he took it right up the middle for 6. So it is 48-0. All Derby with Zerger with a 33-yard run. Boy, straight ahead running there, nobody to touch him. And Zerger took it in from 6. And they are celebrating on the Derby sidelines right now. 48-0, trying to make it a 49-0 lead here with the kicker. Simmons up and on its way, and we're wearing his leg out. It is good. 49-0. Hutchinson trails Derby with the score. We'll be back with the Derby kickoff right at this 32nd timeout.
Need a pharmacy you can rely on? One where they focus on learning your name and your needs? Being the best pharmacy possible, having a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and stocking the products you need is what Ashcraft Pharmacy is all about. Whether it is dry skin, a cough, or runny nose, aches and pains, or something that requires prescription medications, you can count on Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson. Stop in, call, pick up curbside, or we'll be happy to deliver. Ashcraft Pharmacy, Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, 7 straight touchdowns. I'm referencing Simmons' leg because you kicked the football that many times, you're going to be tired and have to go to the chiropractor next morning. And take nothing away from Derby. They are just running at will. That was a 33-yard run by the backup quarterback straight up the middle. So
sometimes you just have to turn the page.
Oh, yeah, you do.
This is one of those nights.
This is one of those.
That you just have to turn the page and get ready for next week.
This is going to be a long time in the hot tub night for Coach Vernon, as he's talked many times. And I don't blame him. You just sit there and this is a page turner, Dan. You're right.
You invest so much into getting the football team ready to play, the players, the coaches, everybody associated with the program. And some nights you have nights like this.
Now you got hungry backups in there for Derby. It goes out of bounds, so that'll be a touchback. And Hutchins will have the ball, should have the ball on their own 35-yard line. Let's see what it's actually going to mark it, excuse me. And we'll get the indication that the ball goes out of bounds, and out of town as well. Simmons is a good kicker.
Yes, he is.
Impressed with him.
Well, he's probably going to be one of the leading scorers in the state of Kansas this season because Derby puts up so many points.
We got a lot of good kickers in this league, as you mentioned earlier on. Really, a lot of really good kickers. So Hutch has the football now.
And they have gone to a running clock already.
Yeah, they sure have.
Usually that does not happen until the fourth quarter, so this game is going to get over quite a bit ahead of schedule tonight.
So we'll see what time we get into the scoreboard show. So Nick Gosnell will be getting ready, I am sure, although we're still in the third, 7:21 to go in the third quarter of play. Flag on the play.
It moves pretty fast, though, when the clock is running during penalties and everything else.
And a penalty against the defense. They're going to walk this one off. They'll mark it at the 40. So 1st and 5 to go for Hutchinson with the ball on their own 40-yard line.
The game will probably be over right around 9 o'clock, and then we'll have a post-game show and then the scoreboard show.
Marion a winner over Trinity Catholic, 12-7, a close ball game tonight. Play up the middle is good for the first down for the Salthawks. That's third quarter action, not a final. Marion over Trinity Catholic. That one carried up the middle by Hutchinson up to the 46-yard line. Hutch with the first down. So 1st and 10 for Hutchinson. Clock moving at the 6:25 mark of this third quarter play. It's Derby 49, Hutchinson 0.
A lot of fresh players into the game on defense for Derby as well.
Kokar, turn, busted play. He's got to run it himself. Nobody there. He's got some room. 50, spin move to the 45, and he has the first down on his own. What an effort by Noah Kokar, because he turned and he felt like Custer at the last stand. There was nobody there but the Indians, and he was able to turn it into something, and that shows his effectiveness out there at quarterback.
He's an electric player, and he is a very impressive leader as well. I like Noah Kokar.
I'd love to have a picture of that from the opposite side of the field because he turned and there was nobody there to hand the football to, and he made the best of it.
He made something out of nothing. He just picked up 10 yards completely on his own.
1st and 10 for Hutchinson at the Derby 44-yard line. Keeper, now they'll pitch it on the outside. Hogan with some room at the 40, trying to dance his way across that line of scrimmage. I think he got him back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be actually a nice pickup right there, about 5 yards. We'll give him 4, 2nd down and 6.
Daquan Armstrong led the way from his running back position. Good lead blocking downfield.
So 2nd down and 6 now at the Derby 40. That's moving the ball. Backups in there for Derby as well right now. So they pretty well said, hey, we're safe with a 49-0 lead, and allowing some backups to get some really good time on the field. So important in a program Man in motion, the turn to give to Hippen. He'll roll forward close to the first down. Actually, about a pickup of only 3 where his knee hit, so it's going to be 3rd down and short. So 3rd and 3 from the 37 for the Salt Hawks. Again, next week, bring your canned foods. As well, that'll be for the Boys and Girls Club food drive. Hippen in that backfield. Kokar looks over to defense. Man in motion to pitch on the outside. Here's Hogan. He'll turn the corner at the 35, turns his feet. I think he has the first down, and yes, he does. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter of play.
And the clock is running.
1st and 10 now for the Salt Hawks on the 33-yard line. The Derby 33. Wideouts left and right again. The flexbone offense. Burgess will be in that right slot. Hogan in the left slot. At the tailbot spot is Hippen. Give to Hippen. Straight ahead running.
Ball's out.
And it's loose football. It's going to be picked up by Derby. And let's see if they rule it that way. And let's see if they give it to Derby or not.
It certainly looked to me
might have
like
been a down. Sure did. Yes, they did. Derby, second team, comes storming off the field because they got the football. It'll be Derby's football with 3:08 to go in the third period, leading 49-0. So 2:59, 2:58.
And they're leaving the clock running even during the change of possession. So this second half will go by in a blink of an eye.
So Derby brings out, again, their second team of offense. And again, we talked about their quarterback, who is Brock Zerger, and he went 33 yards on a TD a little while ago. Zerger, high snap, gives it straight ahead running, still on his feet trying to turn that corner's Hubbard. And Derek Hubbard saying, hey, we got a flag back on at about the 35, but he rolls forward and picks up about 15 yards. Let's see if it's going to stay at 15 or not.
When you look at the kind of stats Dylan Edwards is putting up for Derby at the running back position, and then factor in that he's not even playing in the fourth quarter of most of these games, it's pretty impressive.
So it's going to go against Derby. They'll march it back, and with just under 2 to go in this third period of play with the clock running clock now. It's set up at the 26. First and, let's say 14 from the 26.
Not sure why, but Derby did not play in week 1. They didn't have a game scheduled to start off the season, so they're going to be a game short of what they could have played this season.
Sometimes the schedules didn't shake out like you hoped they would. They're a fine club. And Zerger's handoff again to Hubbard. Finds some room. He's just about identical to the running style of Edwards by way of speed on that outside. He gets it up to about the 34-yard line. Cook on the stop.
Similar,
and Patterson.
Hubbard and Edwards, similar sizes, similar speed.
Join Darren Dunn and I out in Garden City tomorrow night on Country 102.9 for Hutchinson versus the Garden City Broncbusters. Should be an entertaining ball game. The last time Hutch was out there, they thought they had the game won. They allowed a catch to take place and a game-winning field goal a few seconds later.
Controversial call.
Very controversial call, and that a lot of Dragons weren't here as players, but they've heard about that. There's just about a miss play on that and an incomplete pass on the right side on that snap. Looked like Zerger wasn't quite ready for it, but he ends up getting the ball, throws it incomplete. So now the clock's moving down. We should be in the fourth quarter, coming up pretty quick. It will be 3rd and 6.
After that Blue Dragon Broncbuster game a couple years ago, Garden City went on to play in the national championship game. And then last spring, in the shortened season, the Hutchinson Blue Dragons.
Yeah, Blue Dragons won
national
undefeated.
Champions.
Garden City in that championship game lost, I believe, to East Mississippi. Man in motion to the right side. Now he's set up a tight end set. Here's Zerger. He goes to the right side, tries to keep it, finds his way around the outer perimeter, does not have the first down. Short of that, it'll bring up a 4th down and short situation for the Derby Panthers.
Last play of the third quarter.
And that will run out the third quarter. We'll go to the fourth quarter. We'll be back right after this 30-second timeout.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Well, Dan Nacarado, head to the fourth quarter play. We've got a running clock, so this won't take long. And Hutchinson on the wrong end of a 49-0 ball game score on the scoreboard. And I'm agreeing with you. You just turn the page on this. This is you just start playing a superior team right here. Hutchinson's got a good team, but not matching up tonight against the Derby Panthers.
It's a Derby program that has just become so dominant in the last 8 to 10 years. They've pretty well been in the hunt for a state championship every single season, and they've added some tough games on their schedule and through the years where they'll play good teams from the Kansas City area. I think they even went to Arkansas and played a Rogers High School team a few years back.
Now they have a whole different team coming on, and I think they are going to punt the football away here as they look like they're set up to go for first down, and now they got about 8 seconds to play with, and that's an interesting move, but they will be punting the ball, and it looks like it will be King back deep for Hutchinson. Gets the kick away. King lets it bounce, and actually it's down at about the 34-yard line, 1st and 10 from that mark. So Hutch will take over there. They'll have the ball trailing 49-0. Some stats, Dylan Edwards from Derby, 16 carries, 171 yards, and a TD. His longest was the 38-yarder. Thatcher with 13 carries, 87 yards, and 2 TDs. Brother Brock Zerger, well, actually it's Brock Zerger with 2 attempts and a TD. Longest was the 33-yarder. So there's some numbers from Derby. Hutchinson with Hogan with 30 yards and Kokar with 20. We'll look at some of those other statistics in a second. 1st and 10 Hutch. And the ball on their own 33-yard line. Gives it off to Armstrong. Finds a hole on the right side. Leans forward and gets spinned down. Pickup of about 4 on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 call. Armstrong, that'll be his 3rd carry. And has 11 yards total for the ball game. Kokar is 3 out of 6 for 34 yards, as long as it was a 25-yard completion to Hogan. And again, Hackney had 8 first-half tackles, and that's where he ends the third quarter with. Pitch on the outside, trying to turn the corner, is Hogan, trying to dance around. Now he sprints up the sidelines, and they say he stepped out of bounds right around the 45-yard line. That'll move the chains, 1st and 10 Hutch.
Hogan's doing some nice things out there tonight. He's been solid all season. Had to battle a leg injury through much of the first part of the season, but he's a tough young man, and he's playing well.
First down for Hutchinson at the 47-yard line. Hutch's on 47, 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Washburn Rural 45, Emporia nothing now. That's fourth quarter of action. The final, Rossville 62, Oskaloosa nothing. That's the final. Again, the rest are fourth quarter scores. Here's the give up the middle. Pickup of a couple yards for Hutchinson. Hutchinson in its grinded out mode right here is taking up the middle for Hippen. Gained about a yard. 2nd down and 9. 2nd down and 9 for Hutch. Ball right at about the 48-yard line. Hutch's own 48-yard line. Doobie leads him up to the line of scrimmage. He's the center. Kokar, the quarterback. Hippen right behind him at tailback spot. Hogan in motion. Pitch to Hogan, left side, 50 to the 45-yard line. Say he stepped out of bounds right at the 46, so they'll move the down marker. Brings up a 3rd down and short.
Good surge by that Hutchinson offensive line on that play.
Fort Scott 13, Lebec County 7. I mentioned that Washburn Rural 45-0 score over Emporia. I rubbed that in because, Dan, that's your alma mater.
Well, that's
at least
true.
You have one. Mine's closed.
They're looking to turn the page tonight as well.
3rd down and short for Hutch. Turn to give to Armstrong. He dances a little bit, and then a second surge. I think he might have got the first down. Loose football. Trying to get forward. Looks like Derby might have it the way their reaction. And Armstrong with his head down. Nope, they say it's Hutch's football. Somebody fought for it in that bottom of that pile and got it for Hutch.
It looked to me like Sammy Christians picked it up from his left tackle position.
3rd quarter score, Free State 27, Mill Valley 13. Mill Valley always with a good club up there around the Kansas City area. And here it is 49-0 Derby with the lead over Hutchinson. A 1st and 10 for Hutch, so at the Derby 40-yard line. Good effort by Armstrong, and a ball popped loose, but Hutchinson got it back. There's Kokar outside. He pitched it. There's Hogan around the outside. He's at the 30. Down the sidelines he goes and out of bounds. They'll push him out at about the 27-yard line. Salt Hawks got that first down. 7:09 to go in this 4th quarter play. Running clock.
Zach Hogan has certainly been the player of the game offensively for Hutchinson tonight. Probably Devin Hackney has been the player of the game defensively.
1st and 10 Hutch. On ball on the 27-yard line of Derby. Be nice for Hutch to get on the board here. Gives straight ahead running hip and dives forward to about the 24-yard line. So 2nd down and 6. Clock moving along, 6:30 to go in the contest. Hutch looks to the sidelines, gets their signals. Again next week, Salina South comes to town. It'll be blackout night, last home game. Dodge City leading Great Bend now, 17-14. TMP 21, Ellis nothing. Those are both 4th quarter scores. Give a straight ahead running. Pitch on the outside. Room to run on that outer perimeter. It's Hogan. He dives down and out of bounds inside the 5-yard lines where they're going to rule it. Actually, they're going to rule it at the 8.
In case you're wondering, last week Derby beat Salina South 77-7. Again, Salina South
comes to Hutchinson on top of Marion now, 14-12 4th quarter scores. So that's a good game going on with Trinity and Marion. Clock at the 5:38 mark. 1st and goal now for Hutchinson. Ball on the 8-yard line.
Salina South is playing Mays at Salina tonight. They were 1-2 going into tonight's, 1-3 going into tonight's game.
Salina South, yes. They're taking on the Mays Eagles. Hogan pitch on the outside. Now gets it. Hogan turns the corner. Hogan into the end zone from 8 yards out. Zach Hogan with the Hutchinson touchdown. Salt Hawks took it all the way down. Hogan got a lot of first downs. Nice job by Hogan on the run around the left side, and he scores it 6 on the board for the Salt Hawks. 5:08 to go in the contest. 49-6. Hutchinson trailing Derby. But they got on the board, Dan, and that's an important endeavor.
That was a good drive. Zach Hogan, a bright spot tonight.
King to hold. Runyon's kick is up and on its way, and it is not any good. So 49-6, your score will remain with 5:08 to go in tonight's contest. We'll await the Hutch kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
It's always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Salt Hawks for 6, Dan Nacarado makes it 49-6 ball game. And that is some encouragement. It's just a matter of, guys, we played a pretty doggone good football team tonight. We were able to punch it in for the touchdown. Just keep trying to get better week to week, and we get another shot at another team next week.
That's right. And again, Derby was all over Salina South last week, and Hutchinson has Salina South coming to Gowan Stadium 1 week from tonight.
Yeah, what was that one? 77-7, yeah. Derby's really good. They're marching right through the Ark Valley League. They're going to have some good matchups still coming up in the future. And then, of course, we get into sub-state play, which is just around the corner in the playoffs. That'll be starting, around the 27th or 29th of October, I believe. It's that Friday, last Friday in October. Here's the end-over-end kickoff, and it goes out of bounds. So Derby will have the ball first and 10 from their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, I guess that's called regional action.
Yeah, that's regional action.
October 29.
So that'll be when that starts. Inman 32, Plainville 3. Somebody finally scored on the Teutons. Fourth quarter score. Somebody got a field goal out of it. So they're going to give the ball on the 35. And Smith Center 28, Oakley 8. And another score, Bishop Ward 45, Santa Fe Trail 7. So right here it's 49-6. Derby on top of the Salt Hawks. Derby with the football. The keeper around the right side trying to turn the corner on the outer perimeter. Nice run, and all the way knocked out of bounds, end over end. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Nice run by Conley Hamlin. The backup quarterback. Hamlin in there now. Zerger was in there for a second and had the 33-yard run for the TD. Now it's Hamlin's turn. Ball on the Hutch 46-yard line with 4:08 to go.
Next week, Derby hosts Campus, and then on October 15, Mays will be at Derby. Derby finishes the regular season at Mays South on October 22.
And both Mays and Mays South, good ball clubs. Hutchinson's last game is against Mays as well. That'll be late in the month of October. So again, Hamlin, the quarterback for the Derby Panthers, and a whole host of Salt Hawks meeting him at about the 47-yard line of Hutchinson. It's going to bring up a second down in right at about a 10.5 situation. But you look at the film on this one and you just try to pick up some positive things. If you're the Salt Hawks, if you're Derby Panthers, you look and see what you did well, and they did a lot of things well tonight.
They certainly did. It's a good football program.
So second down and long, second and about 10.5 for the Derby Panthers inside of Salt Hawk territory. 3:06 to go in this fourth quarter of play, leading at 49-6. Keeper by the quarterback Hamlin around the outside has some room, rolls forward to about the 33. That'll move the chains, first and 10 for the Panthers backups with 2:52 to go in the ball game.
This Derby program, you have to give them credit. They have talented players and they play hard. That's a sign of good coaching when you see the players really getting after it.
They move the chains once again. Possession side really going into this fourth quarter was Hutchinson's side, 19-11 to 16-42. Here Derby with the ball, first and 10. Again on the 33-yard lines. Loose football, and it gets away from one of the Derby Panthers, blown dead. So they'll come back out and set it up again with 2:16 to go.
Derby with over 400 yards of total offense tonight, though. Hutchinson with, looks like somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 yards.
Basketball practice started officially today, NCAA level as well as the NJCAA level. It happened this afternoon at 3:30 across the way at the sports arena for Tommy DeSalm in his first year as a head coach at Hutch Community College. After running up with Cali last year to give a head straight running by Hubbard up the middle, picked up a yard or yard and a half, 1:37 to go, and Derby just grinding it out right now. Will bring up a third down and 10 from the 33. So excited to see what Tommy puts on the court. His first game, home game, will be on November 4th. John Onge's first home game will be on November 3rd. So we'll be busy with that happening. We have both high school football, college football, high school, college basketball starting at the same time
Once we get into November,
oh man,
it's a lot of sports from
I have
November
to show an ID
March.
when I come home. I have to show who I am, show my license at the door, because I'm not home very often. Turn around the outside, Hubbard with some room. He's at the 20, cuts inside the 15, 10-5, touchdown Hubbard. A great run by Derek Hubbard from 33 yards out, and he's into the end zone and put 6 on the board for the Derby Panthers. You talk about speed. Hubbard just turned that corner and the Jets were on, and give credit to that young man. 55-6, the score right now, Derby on top. So they'll set up for the extra point. Clock is stopped with 45 seconds to go in the corner. What a run by Hubbard around the outside. They're going to go for 2. High snap. Turn to the right side. Nothing there. And your score with 45 seconds left to go in the ball game. It's Panthers 55 and Hutchinson 6. We'll be back in 30 seconds for the Panther kickoff. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com, a CRH company.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. 55-6. Derby with the lead over the Salthawks tonight, and give Hubbard a lot of credit on that 33-yard run. He was open at the 20 and just angled toward the end zone with a lot of speed, took it in.
He wears number 1. Dylan Edwards wears number 2. And
that's all
both
you need.
Both of them are impressive running backs.
And you also look at a good job done by Brock Zerger when he was in there at quarterback's position. He took it straight up the middle for a TD. And
now Hamlin at quarterback looks good also.
So, again, 55-6. Derby all over Hutchinson. We'll talk with Coach directly following the ball game. He'll be down on his dauber, but at the same time, he's going to sit there and say, hey, that's a pretty good team. No doubt about that played in the white and green tonight. They'll toe up the football. Looks like Simmons still the kicker, I believe. Nope, they'll change kickers as well. They have a new kicker in there. That's Grady Jessup. He's a sophomore. And he's a sophomore, as Darren would say. There's the pooch kick to the right side. Fair catch call for and taken by the Salthawks. Is waving his arm as James Jordan. And Hutchinson will have the ball now with 41 seconds remaining. Be less than that by the time they get the ball spotted and put into play. So
they'll probably just run one play, if that. Don't need to really run a play.
1st and 10 from the 34 for the Salthawks. 20 seconds remaining to go in this fourth quarter of play. Hutch will set up. Kokar fumbles the ball, picks it back up, heads back up forward.
Jack's Henahall.
It is Henahall in there at quarterback. Thank you very much. And look, I saw movement on that left side. That's pretty well going to do it for the ball game. That's the last play. And your final score is going to be 55-6. Derby with the big win over the Salthawks. And again, we'll get set to regroup and bring it all back to you next week again. We'll take a break, get set for the post-game activities. Again, your final is 55-6. All Derby Panthers. We'll be back right after this 2-minute timeout.
Tony Smith, attorney at law and an alumni.